Welcome to the POD Cast, the Pride of Detroit podcast, coming to you live Sunday night after most of Week 12 is over. We have rested. We have gotten our heads cleared after a tough Thursday night game, which we will talk about in a bit. But my name is Jeremy Reisman. I am filling in as the adequate host this week for Chris Perfett. I want to thank Chris for filling in on Thanksgiving night and giving you guys some audio content that night, while I'm sure some of you needed something to listen to provide maybe some therapy or whatever. But we're here to continue to soothe the burns as we get further and further away from Week 12 and move towards Week 13. Filling in my spot, because I'm filling in Chris's spot, is the machine. Is at Eric Schlitt on Twitter. Eric Schlitt is here. Eric, thanks for filling in, buddy.
I wasn't going to, but then when I realized we'd have a chance to get the band back together, I thought it was too good of an opportunity to pass up.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, we aren't taking questions, so it doesn't quite feel the same, but hopefully the listeners will enjoy it. I'm sure they will. Except for the ones that are really angry and think the Lions suck and just want us to say that for 60 minutes straight, which we're not going to do.
Not with me on board.
That's right. We also have another third person aboard, and you guys know him. You love him. He is the Rock God. He is senior editor of Pride Detroit. He is Ryan_POD on Twitter. Ryan Matthews is also here. Ryan, how's your Sunday night going, buddy?
I feel a bit like Ringo. You know what I mean? Get the band back together.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
That was
like that.
That was a swing, and I appreciate taking a swing. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out Dan Pask. I don't know. But, yeah, we're moving on.
Let's move on. Let's talk. I've avoided talking about this game quite a bit. I've avoided writing a lot about this game, but I think it's about time that we face it head on. Lions lose to the Packers 29-22 on Thanksgiving. Not a good showing, really, on either side of the ball. And Lions fans are understandably concerned about the direction of the team because they didn't look great the week before, even though they picked up the win against the Chicago Bears. So let's just jump kind of head in. Ryan, I'll throw it to you first. What was kind of your main takeaway from this game? Were you surprised? Were you mad? Are you concerned? Are you jumping ship? How are we feeling?
Certainly not jumping ship. You know, it's an 8-3 football team at the end of the day, right? Like if the Lions were a perfect football team, they would have a perfect record. Alas, they're not. And I think just, Thanksgiving was another stark reminder of when things go sideways on offense, just how difficult it can be for this team to overcome the obstacles that are ahead of them, right? Like I think when we have Jared Goff turning the ball over, a bunch in a half, in a quarter, so to speak, I guess, when things are going sideways for the offense, it's just hard for this football team to stick together and to move forward. And I think it boils down to the offense, though, Eric. For me, I think when I think about this loss, I think it's kind of indicative of, again, it was almost the Chicago game, but like ramped up to 12, so to speak. You know what I mean? In terms of the offense just looking, out of rhythm, Goff looking out of sorts, and just having to play catch up in a way that they really haven't had to play catch up all year. And I know we maybe kind of talked about, hey, that's one thing we want to see. Can the Lions offense, if it finds itself in a hole, can it pull itself out of that hole? Well, they did against Chicago. I think Green Bay is a better football team than the Chicago Bears are, and that just ended up not happening. But it does feel like, to me, in the here and now, and I guess I want to kind of hear Eric's thoughts about this, but like I think in the here and now, the things that can be fixed are they seem like they're fixable. The things that can be fixed seem like they're fixable. Number one being Jared Goff, just don't turn the ball over so darn much, right? Like that seems like it's a fixable problem. Some of the other issues, maybe like on the defense and so on, it feels like those might be like off-season things that the Lions might need to address. But I think that still this team, their best foot forward is their offense just being white hot, right? And if they can get back to that, which I feel like we have enough data that shows that the Lions could get back to that, I'm not all that concerned.
Yeah, for me, the biggest takeaway is I feel like I see the picture of what the Lions' approach is a little bit better. And that approach in my mind is that the defense is going to try and keep you in games, but they're not going to be able to win you games, right? So they're going to give up between around 20 points, maybe go all the way up to 30, but their job is to slow the game down and try and keep the point total as low as they possibly can. They're not going to be at the type of defense that are going to be able to take over and win a game. You've seen it earlier in the season, but that's not really what they are overall. They don't have the horses. The approach that they have to every quarterback now apparently is just this contain approach and then zone behind it. And it seems like they're just trying to keep everything like minimized, right? As much as they can. They can do this and still win games because the offense is so good. But when the offense is bad and your defense is playing this minimalistic type of approach, your offense isn't winning you the game, then you're going to lose, right? If the offense can't just take over, and then you're going to lose those games because the defense can't do it either, right? So when you look at this game, number one thing is exactly what you said, turnovers, right? If you can shore up, those are correctable things, you can shore those up. And if you do, that is a huge problem immediately out of the way. The second biggest problem I thought was the offensive line struggled, and two of their best players struggled on that offensive line. And that is an anomaly, right? Especially to have them both happen at the exact same time. Must have been something up with the moon or something like that. And so we've got the two guys that aren't doing so good, and it's just rare. And then combining with the turnovers, it's just a bad news all the way across the board. And so you don't expect Penei Sewell to have a bad game, and he rarely does. You don't expect Frank Ragnow to have a bad game. He rarely does. So like you're not going to anticipate the odds are they're not going to have bad games moving forward, and they're going to get back into the swing of things. And if you can shore those up, and then you can shore up your turnovers, this offense has the potential to keep you in it and to win, especially some of the teams that they have down the stretch. So yes, things are correctable. Yes, but I mean, I feel like they've kind of been the fact they're not really changing who they are.
Yeah.
And so I kind of feel like this is what they are, and they're going to have to lean on their offense to win pretty much here on out.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that's frustrating for a lot of people to hear, right? They're expecting the defense to get better. They want Aaron Glenn gone. They want them to trade for this guy at the trade deadline. But I think first of all, we have to come to a realization that they just don't have the horses on defense to really compete and be one of these teams that's going to force a bunch of turnovers, that's going to force a bunch of sacks and pressures and things like that. I mean, you have Aiden, you have Aleem, you have
Alex
Anzalone, and Brian Branch. Those are the four guys playing at a good to great level. Everyone else is playing at a below average, and I don't think there's a single exception outside of those guys. That's a dire situation, and you can blame coaching if you want, you can blame scheme if you want, but I don't think the Lions have the players on defense. Offensively, we know they do. And I'm right with Eric. Like, I'm just taking that Green Bay game as an anomaly. If you listen to what Green Bay said after that game, this was a circle the schedule kind of game. They got embarrassed in Lambeau. They came in hungry for this game. Didn't matter that it was a short week. They may have been looking at this one late last week as one that they really wanted. And listen, as good as the Lions have been against some shutdown pass rushers, Joey Bosa and the like, I think Rashawn Gary is a very special player. And that's not just the Michigan me talking. Like, I think he is one of the most underrated edge players in the league. And so you have to at least tip your hat to him a little bit in this game because he was so good. And so I think the Lions are going to rebound offensively. I just there are some concerns about Jared Goff. I think those are the ones that we're not entirely sure that are going to turn around, right? But at the same time, part of the reason Jared Goff has struggled recently was because the offensive line wasn't playing up to snuff. Even going back to Chicago game a little bit, there was a little bit more pressure in that Chicago game than I think a lot of people expected. So if the offensive line can get their act together, and like both of you said, there's enough data to expect that will happen, Jared Goff will also improve. Jared Goff will also not turn the ball over as much because he's turning it over when he's pressured. If he's not pressured, which he hasn't been for most of the season, he's going to be better. He's going to take care of the ball better. The question that I guess I'll throw to you guys really quick, though, like, is there any sense in you guys that defenses are starting to figure them out? That the Lions are that they're figuring ways to generate pressure against the Lions, knowing that that's going to be the thing that melts down Jared Goff and stops this offense in general?
Not for me. I mean, like, teams are going to build, an extensive library of information on every team, and you're going to have better, more detailed game plans as you go down the stretch. At the same time, I don't think there was anything that Green Bay did other than just win.
Yeah,
like they just
win their one-on-ones.
Won their bat.
Yeah,
right. And that's honestly, like, they won a lot of their one-on-ones. It was Graham Glasgow getting upended by Kenny Clark was not expected. Yeah. Rashawn Gary beating Decker was 3 times I don't know if Decker got credit for all of them, but that was not expected. Even Sewell, like, and again, some of this is and I feel like we're being kind of critical of the offensive line. Like, some of this is Jared rolling out into bad blocks as well.
He held onto the ball way too long on several occasions as well.
Yes, exactly. But I think they just got outworked.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen in the NFL. Like, that is just part of I mean, look at the games out there today. Look at the games that we saw on Thursday. Like, Seattle's a good team, and they got waxed. You know what I mean? Like, it's the Chiefs are 8-3. You know what I mean? Like, they've gotten beat. Like, and they're the Mecca of the Super Bowl champs, right? So I think I don't think the Packers did anything out of the ordinary other than just, like you said, win their one-on-ones.
I think, though, Jeremy, to the point I think we're kind of making is, I mean, like, I don't know if necessarily the secret is out. Like, if you pressure Jared Goff, mistakes will follow. But earlier in the season, right, like, there was a lot of data that we had that said Jared Goff is playing really well when he's faced with pressure.
Yeah,
he's making throws. He's making big time throws. There's something about the past 2 weeks, though, that really seemed like there's something off with either his timing or his rhythm or getting the ball out when he needs to get it out. And I'll tell you this, like, this offense doesn't go as Jared Goff goes. And what I mean by that is he doesn't need to make plays outside of structure. Like, if he just does the things that are asked of him and doesn't turn the football over, I think the Lions are going to be in just about every football game that they're going to play. Like, I really do, because I think once those turnovers happen, it's just it's putting this offense in a position where they can't stick to their identity. They want to ground and pound. They want to smash you in the mouth. They want to control the pace of the game. And if we can flip over and talk about the defense a little bit, like, I mean, Green Bay, 22 carries for 109 yards, but 3 of those are Jordan Love plays, 39 yards. You take those away, I mean, they did a pretty good job of boxing up the running backs, right? Like, I mean, AJ Dillon, 14 carries for 43 yards. Yep. I think, and I think, everybody outside of Jordan Love, it was like a 3.3 yards per carry. Like, the run defense is still good. And I think that's just a big part of who the Lions want to be, is a team that can dictate the pace and, dictate the pace of the game. And if they can do that, then I think their offense is just fine. And
I would even argue that the defense has been a little bit better than I think some people have imagined it. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that the Lions defense is playing well right now. They're not. One of the things that they absolutely have to get under control is the beginning of games, right? They give up a 75-yard drive to the Bears last week. They give up 2 75-yard drives to start this game against the Packers.
The very first play of the game.
Yeah.
Christian Watson.
I mean,
Dan Campbell had talked about it all week long.
I can't imagine how frustrated he was for that to be the very first play. That needs to get under control, no question. But again, the offense keeps putting this team in a bad situation. They're turning the ball over on downs all day. 2 fumbles, 1 gets returned for a touchdown. Obviously, defense isn't responsible for those points. The other two, 4 and out for Green Bay and a punt. So like they stopped those turnovers from turning into points. They gave the offense opportunities to win this game or get back in this game. The Lions had several drives get close that could have made this a much closer game. And some of that is probably, yes, Green Bay taking the foot off the gas, but it's also we wring our hands about the pass defense, and you should. It's bad, and we'll get into that next segment. But part of the reason they're able to stay in games is because they still continue to have a really good run defense. And when teams are trying to run out the clock on you, that comes in handy and allows your offense an opportunity to get back in this game. So they gave the offense an opportunity to get back in this game, and the offense repeatedly said no thanks.
I think the success against the run is going to, it might end up being to their detriment. And here's what I mean. Because they've been using contain to stop the run and it's working, they're getting what they want.
Right.
They don't see the need to change it. Right. And then when you play a zone shell behind it, and you're not getting pressure because you're so focused on stopping the run, you're just leaving windows. It's like the quarterback just has to sit and wait for the right window to open and then pick the biggest one. And so the only way this defense gets better is if you continue and you want to continue to play contain to stop the run, is you either have to switch to man or you have to blitz more, because you have to find a way to get pressure on quarterbacks. If you don't, and you play this zone shell behind them, they're going to get carved up. It's the way the NFL works. So if they were struggling and the contain wasn't working, then they'd switch it up. But they're having so much success with the contain against the run, and that's their number one priority. You've got to change something else.
Yeah.
If you want to be better than you are.
And you reminded me of one of the most frustrating things about this game, which is that the Lions did start dialing up the blitz in the fourth quarter, and it started working. And you were just like, where was that the first 3 quarters when Jordan Love was sitting back there and having a tea party and just waiting for guys to break open?
Oh my goodness, dude! The stat that probably stands out the most to me that just puts a stamp on everything that you guys just said. Jordan Love on Thursday, 11 of 12 over the middle of the field for 120 yards and a touchdown. And like, it was just so easy, right? Like when you're playing that contained defense and you're doing that stuff, like you're going to leave the middle of the field open. And it's kind of clear that the Lions secondary, their back end, again, they just don't have the horses back there. And I guess the one thing I do want to underline though, is like, to no fault, I think, of Brad Holmes. Do you know what I mean? Like, he did his darndest to do everything to the secondary that he could have.
Yeah.
And things just didn't work out, right? Like Emmanuel Mosley lasted 2 snaps. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a couple games.
And how many defensive linemen has he drafted in 3 years?
Yeah.
And listen, if he's not hitting, that's obviously partially his fault too, but there's been a lot of swings to improve that defense, and it just not a lot of hits.
Josh Paschal was one of the best players on the field, especially if you look at his PFF grade, but he didn't get any pressure because that's not what they're asking them to do, right? Like the way that they're running this defense with that whole, like they're rushing Aiden, they're rushing Aleem, they're gapping with the nose, trying to occupy doubles, and then they're asking the other pass rusher to kind of hold or kind of bend the edge, and sometimes they'll use a Sam linebacker outside of him to create some pressure, but like
they don't have a Sam
Paschal
linebacker
was
right now.
Well, no, but that's the scheme does. Right. They just don't have the guy.
Right.
Like they've been trying to find the guy since training camp, right? Which is like, if you're looking ahead to April.
Yeah. It was supposed to be James Houston. He's injured. It was supposed to be Julian Okwara after that. He was a healthy scratch in this game. It was supposed to be Jack Campbell, and then they stopped doing that in a hurry. Derek Barnes, Charles Harris. I mean,
it was supposed to be Charles Harris in camp. Right?
That's right. It's just none of these. Yeah. None of these
James
guys.
Houston, he's still on the roster bubble
because they don't have another, like they prioritize at setting the edge, and a lot of NFL teams do that. But with Hutch, you have a guy who can set the edge, stop the run, and pass rush, right?
Yeah.
On the opposite side, they don't have that. They have these these run stuffers who can reduce inside. They have edge setters, but they don't really have pass rushers. And that's where the Sam came in. That's why they wanted to introduce that concept. But they don't have it on their roster. And so they're kind of just stalled at that point. And so there's just not a lot that they can do. And Houston he could have been that. But it hasn't worked, and they've tried everything to try and work it. And they can't. So it may be an off season, like Ryan said at the top, to start the segment out. It's a lot of the problems on defense are probably fixed in the off season, because even if James Houston comes back in late December, who's to say he's going to be, you're going to drop him in and he's going to be James Houston from last year.
Right.
Sure. I think, well, hey, Bruce Irvin?
Bruce Irvin?
There you
go.
I don't know.
Well, I think we'll find out on Sunday.
I think we will. And I think the best way to prepare all of us, including Bruce Irvin, is to get ourselves a little Righteous Felon beef jerky before we get to Sunday. That's right. The Pride of Detroit podcast is brought to you by Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. It's the jerky that fuels your Detroit Lions. We're going to pump Bruce Irvin full of it. That's right. Righteous Felon Jerky and meat sticks are available to Lions players at the training facility. They literally have it inside their training facility. I've seen it. Okay, that's not technically true, but I do know it's in the building. Each 2-ounce bag of jerky has 16 to 20 grams of protein, and each stick has 8 grams. Trust me, if it's good enough for the Lions, it's going to be good enough for you. Righteous Felon is based in West Chester, Pennsylvania. They use locally sourced, all-natural Black Angus beef and prides itself on superior quality, revolutionary branding, and unique flavors that go beyond stereotypical jerky offerings. Ryan, you're always talking about the turkey jerky. Give me another one. Give me maybe people want beef. They want this. Angus
What would
beef.
be the best one? What would be the best one for Bruce Irvin to get that juice in him?
Oh man, I don't think you could go wrong with the Maryland Monroe.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit of Old Bay seasoning on your craft jerky. It just makes too much sense.
It's the spice of life.
Variety.
That's right. By the way, if this appeals to you, and it absolutely should, guess what? We got a promo code. Promo code. Listen, everyone's searching for deals right now. It's Black Friday. It's Cyber Monday. Every week is Cyber Monday here at the Pride of Detroit podcast, because you can get 15% off right now. All you need to do is go to righteousfelon.com, type in POD15, boom, 15% off immediately. Buy yourself one of those bundles that's super cheap anyways, make it even cheaper. Holidays are around the corner. The gift of meat. How many times do we have to tell you? The gift of meat.
Stuff those stockings with meat.
That's right. Go to righteousfelon.com just righteousfelon.com and then enter POD15 at checkout. Y'all know how to do coupon codes at this time. Go ahead and do it right now. And we'll be back on the POD cast right after this. All right. We made it break time, y'all.
I have one daughter that just eats meat. That's all she eats. She's on the Atkins diet. I swear to God.
She's trying to get big, trying to make gains, protein.
No.
Jump up a wrestling class.
Yeah.
She just the other two, fruits and vegetables, they got the balance, they like the little treats. No. This one, her phrase is, I like my meats and I like my sweets. That's it. Meats and sweets. Steak, candy, and meat. It's terrible. It's really bad.
I mean, nothing I would brag to like the pediatrician about, but I mean,
oh no, the pediatrician hates it. he does. We've tried a lot of things, and she doesn't care.
All right,
She's very self-aware.
I'm gonna roll through some alerts here. I'm gonna start with all the Twitch alerts, all the resubs, and all that jazz. So let's get to that first. Then we'll talk about some donation stuff that's happening as well. But first, Brennan, thank you for the 38 months at Tier 2. over here on Twitch. Appreciate you so much, Brennan, for the over 3 years of support. Michael T. Dunn, 33 months subscribed to the channel, says here to take a deep breath. That's a great idea. Let's all take some deep breaths. Everything's going to be okay. I mean, I can't be certain that that's true, but here's the thing that I always like to remind people. The benefit of getting off to an 8-2 start is that you have a margin of error. You can mess up a time or two, and it's going to be okay. Like, the fact that the Packers are surging right now, or the Vikings are surging, well, they have to. They have to do that. They don't have margin for error.
Right. They're in the hunt, as the graphic tells you.
Yeah, the Packers already have, 6 losses? That's 3 more than us. Okay? So they can go 4-2. If we go 3-3, doesn't matter. They out. Anyways, Slim Quick, 17 months subscribed to the channel, says bounce back time. What's happening? No decaf. Hey, Chris was in here for a minute. I don't know if you're still here, but 37 months says happy Tommy DeVito day. I'm gonna go drink more Pedialyte now. Oof, that doesn't sound good. But I do owe a calzone. I almost said Pizzoli. What's a Pizzoli? Is that a Pizza Hut thing?
It might be. I know what a Pizzelli is.
A Pizzelli?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's different than a Pizzoli?
Probably. I don't know. I feel like if it's something Pizza Hut came up with, then
there is a Pizzone. I don't remember what that one is either, which is different than the Izzone. That's a Michigan State thing.
I didn't know. That's what I was going to ask.
It's an area where fans gather to support Michigan State's basketball club. I was gonna send you Pizzelli, picture of Pizzelli, because there's a there's a local pizza shop in Holly called Red Devil, and there's actually 2 of them. There's one in Fenton too, but they have a thing called a Pizzelli, and it's quite yummy.
Okay,
I'll sell you on it here. Here you go. Drop it in the Slack.
Sell me. In the meantime, Hard Sticks, they give the 12 months, a full year subscribe to the channel, so thanks for the content, boys. Bills can go get lost in a blizzard, FTB and FTP. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying not... it was frustrating because I was obviously rooting for the Eagles to lose too, but if we're being completely honest with ourselves, the chance at a 1 seed is 6% right now.
3.
If that. That's right. It would have been 6%. It's 3 now. So even if the Eagles had lost, we're talking pretty low percentages here. Eagles have been really good in one-score games, so they're 6-1. Is that what he said? 7-1 says Jamich.
What a kick by Elliott though, huh?
Yeah, was it 58?
Yeah, man, that was a big boy kick.
That was. Didn't Buffalo miss a kick in regulation at some point too? I believe they did. Where can I get a bigger picture of this Pizzelli? I feel like it's tiny.
You saw it on the front page, right?
Yeah, but it's such a small picture.
Did you go to the photo gallery?
Nope. There's a photo gallery. Stromboli. Where's the Pizzelli? Oh, there it is. Now we're talking.
You missed 2 kicks.
It's kind of like a Jets boat a little bit, right?
I've never had a Jets boat.
Oh.
What in the world?
That's pretty good.
Does it?
You don't think that looks good?
Not really.
I mean, it's just like a pizza, 2 pizzas shoved on top of each other.
Is it? There's you have lettuce on your pizza? And
you ever have a BLT pizza? It's a thing.
I don't.
So there's no pizza sauce on it. It's just it's like cheese. You see lettuce, the red onions, the tomatoes, and then I think there's usually some kind of just like salty meat that's on there too, like some kind of nice salami or something like that. But it's good. You dunk it ranch.
Nah, see, I would dunk it in marinara.
You could dunk it in marinara. I've never tried that, but yeah.
Eric is the pickiest eater ever.
I don't know if I'm the pickiest eater ever, but I'm pretty picky.
Are you really?
Is that coming from an inside source?
It is coming
That's
from an
Laura.
inside.
Okay.
Laura's selling me out.
That's interesting.
I look, I like lettuce. I just don't like lettuce on pizza.
This, you know what? The more I think about this, the more it does fit into your personality. It's because you like what you like and you're unwilling to budge from that, just like every other aspect of your life.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Steel Hank Reardon, 20 months subscribed to the channel, says still hanging in here even after an ugly loss. Eric, please make me feel better.
No,
You gotta
8-3. 8-3, 2-game lead, and the Vikings haven't even lost yet. So
about to be a 2.5 with 6 games left. I do think the Bears could win that game. As much as I've been riding the Vikings,
I picked the Bears.
Did you really?
In our pick'em? Yeah.
I maintain that, like, I know the Lions haven't looked good the past 2 weeks, but I think that team is starting to figure some things out. And listen, Justin Fields is a threat on the ground at the very least. He could be more. JP is me. 18 months subscribed to the channel, says go Blue and go GVSU, 2 best teams in the state. What did Grand Valley do?
I don't know.
We could talk some Michigan if you want.
I was going to make a comment about Rashawn Gary beating Taylor Decker being a sign of things to come that we just didn't know at the time.
Oh.
So Eric's going big on looking for the messages, right? And the moon phases and
that one. Okay, I knew it was going to make you mad, so that's why I tried to keep it. I tried to keep a straight face as I looked at both of you, and you were like both giving me a look, and I was like, "Oh no."
I knew you were saying it to piss off Jeremy, so I started looking at Jeremy like,
yeah. Yeah, because I saw you guys complaining. So I was like, well, I'm setting myself up for it. I have to take little jabs.
Madi Tuhati, thank you for the 26 months subscribed on Twitch, says seems like the Lions were not on the Green Bay front porch when GB came hunting. Yeah, they turns out they had to look a long ways to find us.
Sometimes when you open the door, you get punched in the mouth. Sometimes it happens.
Sure.
Sometimes you go hunting with Dick Cheney.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Monkey 81, 9 months subscribed to the channel. We know what that means. We having a baby. Big DMG, 10 months subscribed to the channel. Haroon 2021, 5 months subscribed to the channel, says concern level when it comes to golf on a scale of 1 to 10. 5.1.
It's weird because coming into the Packers game, it was probably like a 2. But I think after the Packers game, I think I'm probably at like a 5.
I want to change it back to 4.
5 in short term.
4.9.
Just to be under me.
No, but the difference between a 5.1 and a 4.9 mentally seems like a lot, right?
It is a big deal.
Right, you're making a statement like I'm a little bit more towards concerned or I'm a little bit more towards okay. 4.9.
I'll just toe the line with a 5. What about you, Eric?
Oh, that's my job.
I'd say 4 or under. Because I think the offense is geared for him, and I don't expect him to have multiple games like this.
You can't get all the numbers under 4. By the way, you can't just say 4 or less.
I'll take 4 and everything. I will take everything under 4.9.
No, that's not how.
I will take 4.89 and lower.
$1, Bob. Zero Slub, thank you for the 3 months subscribed to the channel. Captain James Kirk 25-bit says Righteous Felon in Eric's candy drawer. Sorry. Raw goes Amy, what's up? Haven't seen you in forever. 17 months subscribed channel, says I am back now. Welcome back. Sorry about your Raiders sucking. Damian Smith over on YouTube, $2 or £2 super chat, says Campbell seems less intense than last short week. Seemed less intense than last short week. Maybe he did seem a little low energy in some of the press conferences into the week, but I don't know. I think it is important to remind people, though, that it was a short week, and we've all seen enough Thursday night football to realize that short weeks can create funky results, right?
Division rivals too.
And not even night. Thursday, hey,
Right.
get ready to play football at 12:30.
Yeah, you're getting
12:30 .
8 less hours than you normally get on a Thursday night game, which is not nothing. You're applying for new teams. Hey, come aboard. You're in the right spot. Captain James Kirk, 100 bits, said, would you rather the Lions get the 1 seed and unknown finish in the divisional round, or Lions get the 2 seed and a wild card win but lose the divisional round? Are we going back to this question?
I think the only thing that we can do to instill some fear into Jeremy would be, what if it's the 2 seed and the Rams are the 7 seed?
Well, no, it says you get the wild card win. The Lions get the 2 seed and the wild card win but lose the divisional round.
Nah, we're not playing this game anymore because the 1 seed's not up for grabs anyways. But
that's kind of true. But that makes the answer very easy for me, because if the Lions somehow manage the 1 seed, that means they're kicking all sorts of butt.
Yeah, it
means essentially they finish 6-0. So yeah, I'll take that one.
Cool.
I mean, we had this debate on the website, right? Like, it's the risk of facing a more difficult first playoff game by getting the first round bye, or knocking off the 1 playoff win in the Super Bowl era stat that has been lingering over the franchise for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
I get wanting to knock that one off, but if you're the 1 seed, especially now, if the Lions have somehow earned their way into the 1 seed by the end of the regular season, I'd feel pretty confident in that divisional round.
Then we all enjoyed one hell of a December.
Right. Captain James, another 50 bit, says Lions win next Sunday, and this team is started in the first 3 quarters of the season 3-1 each time. I'm all for that. It's kind of fun to think about. Scotty Questions dropped 5 gifted subs. We haven't had a gift sub bomb in a while because we've been trying to push the donations, but very much appreciate that, Scotty Questions. Look what he's sporting. A Scotty Questions original.
Yeah. Yeah. I got this from Scotty himself.
That's right. Big Wes, 16-month subscribe channel, says get right game this weekend. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're going to talk too much about New Orleans in this podcast, but the opportunity is there for sure. I don't think New Orleans is a very good team.
Lions are favorites.
There you go. When have they ever lost when they're favorites? I can't think of one time in the past 3 days.
Nope.
Quirky Zerky, 100 bits, says 2 main reasons. Oh, he's a 2 out of 10 for Jared Goff. Says main reasons that Goff was trying to escape the wild pressure and try to make plays instead of just getting crushed. Yes, but the one thing that I thought Jared Goff had done a good job of to turn the corner of this kind of rap on him is to realize when the play isn't there and take nothing. But like, how many times have we seen Jared Goff throw it into the dirt because the play's over, or throw it away, or take a sack for 1 or 2 yards rather than 6 or 7? He'd gotten so much better at that sort of thing that to see him regress these past 2 weeks is a pretty big disappointment to me.
I think the way that I kind of see that snowball or kind of spin out of control, Jeremy, is that you see Goff having to feel like he needs to maybe extend a play or make a play because the Lions are in a hole from a mistake that happened earlier, right? Like,
or just letting a touchdown in the first drive of each game. Just a little bit of that extra pressure.
Right. And I think
take the ball first.
Hey, take the ball first. Also, like, everybody felt pretty okay after the Lions answered by just going down the field and scoring a touchdown.
True.
I mean, not so great after Riley Patterson missed an extra point, but I like things were okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think that there's definitely something to the fact that, like, I don't know where it comes from. Like, it shouldn't come from any undue pressure, but like Goff doesn't have to do more than what's being asked of him at any time.
Yeah.
And I feel like when he gets that in his brain, when the Lions are down by points, or, maybe part of it's him too. Like, maybe part of it's him being a competitor and like man, I made a play that put my team in a tough spot. I'll make a play that'll pull them out of a tough spot. And it's like, I just don't think you're that guy, man. And like, you don't have to be that guy in this offense.
Yeah, it's tough because I almost feel like he had gotten better at that too, right? Like, part of the things we were saying earlier in the season is, you know, he would throw an interception, then the next drive he would drive him down for a touchdown.
Green Bay game.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very first, like the second play of the game, throws a horrible interception. Defense holds him to 3. Then he goes back and, you know.
The Amon-Ra touchdown.
Right. That's the play.
Drive all the way down the field.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's get to some of the donations. If this is your first time joining us, maybe you just came across us on YouTube or Twitch, you don't even know who we are. By the way, we're Pride of Detroit. We're a Website Alliance blog primarily, but we do live streaming as well. And this is the month of November where we do our annual charity drive. This year it's for the Alzheimer's Association and the what's the name of it? The Humane Society of Western Michigan. If you want to donate to the Alzheimer's Association, hit the ! Donate in charity, and it'll provide you a direct link. You can see a running total up top there of $16,320. Every $1,000 that we hit, we spin a wheel of pain. Every 10,000 we hit is a wheel of extreme pain, and then every 5,000 we hit is a specific milestone that we hit. As you can see up there, the next one is the entire podcast dressed as Benito Jones did that one time before a game. So that'll be a fun one. You can donate just like these people did.
Do you have overalls?
No. Not at all. Why would I? I'm as city boy as it gets.
Born and raised in South Detroit?
No. It doesn't exist. $250 donation, by the way, from Silver Rush 24, who wants to write Ja and D Mosty do matter. I'm guessing that's on my face.
Okay.
And I'm also guessing that D Mosty is D Monty. Unless we're calling him, is anyone calling him D Mosty?
I don't think so.
Okay. I will do that. Captain James Kirk, also $25 donation, also wants to write on my face 30-24. Which is that the Michigan score game? What is 30-24? Okay.
Yeah.
I think Michigan was 30-24, right?
They won by 6.
Okay. And then Charizard Boner, our good friend, who I recently learned, embarrassingly so, that he's actually an IRL friend of mine, and I didn't know this the entire time.
There you go.
Wants a little hat on me, so there you go.
The more you know.
There you go, buddy. All right.
30-24, yes.
Okay.
Confirmed. I don't know why I blanked on that.
Well, in the meantime, I'm going to write some stuff on my face, which means you guys have to carry a conversation for 5 minutes.
Ooh.
Okay.
And it can be about anything. You want to talk about what happened in the NFL today? You want to talk about Lions? You want to talk about your Thanksgivings? The Barry documentary?
Oh, I still haven't watched that yet.
Why didn't you watch it with us this morning?
I know. I kind of woke up late.
Past 10? You crazy?
Yeah, I had a rough night. But Eric, I just saw the picture of that you sent Jeremy and I of just the Ziploc sandwich baggie of meat. Like these other nice little arrangements of like a well-balanced diet and meal. Then here's your bag of meat.
You want to see that? I'll show it to chat.
30-24.
There you go. This looks so pretty too. Like look at the blueberries and the oranges. So pretty. And then just here, bag of salami.
They all have the two of them really like variety.
Good for them.
Not so much the third.
I kind of want the what are these bean looking things?
Those are chocolate covered raisins.
Oh.
by they're by Sunkist.
I'm all about these fruit snacks. I'm a big fruit snacks guy. I mean, I don't ever eat. The only time I ever eat them is when I give blood. Oop, you don't get to see our Discord conversation. All right, third 24. What was the other thing? Oh, DeMonte and whatever.
Ja.
I'm gonna take artistic license and say JAH, even though they only wrote JA.
Mm-hmm. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how
it was a fruit snack.
Was Saturday cool for you guys? Do you enjoy Saturday?
Yeah.
Was that fun?
Yeah.
That's good.
I did not think I was going to get that emotionally involved, and then of course, at the end of the game, I absolutely did.
Yeah, I started getting more excited as the game went on. I spend a lot of time around the holidays just like working and like cleaning, and we switch over we switch holidays from Thanksgiving to Christmas, and there's a bunch of stuff outside that I had to get done because of the schedule. I hadn't been able to like get done. So being able to sit down for like 3 hours was really nice. I was very happy that I got to enjoy that.
Yeah. So I had a question though, because as I'm watching that final drive, not from Ohio State, but from Michigan.
Yeah.
I could only like I know you guys were super invested in the game, but I was gonna message you guys and be like, would you have done the same thing there? Would you have gone run, or on that third down, a touchdown ends the game?
I said RPO. I said they should have run. They should have done like a run pass. Like
I didn't think it was that important for you to make Ohio State burn their timeout. And I know a first down wins it too, but like,
yes,
I feel like a run just felt a little bit too predictable.
I mean, they've lived and died on the run, right? Like that's really what it's been.
Plus, I mean, you have an offensive line coach calling the game, right? Like,
sure,
he loves himself some run game.
Jerome Moore, offensive line coach, offensive coordinator, and head coach in that game. That dude had 3 jobs. That is,
it's really tough. That is one of the tougher positions to be put in as a coach. That exact situation, because what was it, like 3rd and 8?
Sure.
It was a lot, right?
I think it was like 3rd and 6.
Okay.
So I mean, it was 3rd and long-ish.
Yeah. Because I mean, driving the entire length of the field for a touchdown, not just a field goal, is in a minute is tough. It's not as tough, obviously, in college football when you're getting all the stops for first downs and all that.
It almost happened.
It certainly almost happened, but it did require like 1 or 2 big chunk plays that probably shouldn't have happened. And ultimately the strategy worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
It did. I was I don't know. I was kind of torn by that, because even then, like, again, you don't have to get in the end zone. You just need the 6 or whatever you needed to pick it up, and it's over.
Yeah.
Like,
I was wondering if they would have gone for it on 4th and 4. I was like, man, 4 yards wins this game. Like, period.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's a hard call. Hard card.
Yeah. That was. I mean, yeah. That's. Oof. I think Dan Campbell goes for it in that spot.
100% Dan Campbell goes for it in that spot. Yes.
Maybe
that's what it is. I've just watched too much Campbell where I'm like, they're gonna go for this, right?
since you guys were at the game though,
it was not. Oh, the Lions game, yes.
The Lions game. Sorry, transition. But speaking of fakes, have you watched the broadcast of the game?
Mm-mm.
No.
The fake punt, I called it before it happened because of how they were aligned.
It was predictable.
You could Jack Fox, like the camera they had was from behind Jack Fox. Jack Fox was off to the left, like he was not even lined up directly behind the long snapper, and you could see Jalen Reeves-Maybin kind of pushed over there. And man, I was like, that's gonna be a fake punt, and I hate it. Like, I hate everything about it, because why, if you're going to do it, are you going to put the ball in Jalen Reeves-Maybin's hands? Like, that's the guy that we're going to try to get the first down with.
But they did the exact same thing in the opener.
Yeah, but no
Exactly.
one expected it in the opener.
I feel
Now
like
that it's on your
yeah.
resume, yeah.
Nobody expected it unless you had paid any attention to the Lions over the past 2 years.
No one expected it because it was inside the 20.
Yeah.
That's why. Like, now that you've done it, people are going to expect you to do it, right? And then, like, it seemed like an obvious spot to do it as well. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to get back in it. You're trying to, like, keep the ball.
Thursday
Yeah.
feels like forever ago, but when was
Mhm.
that? That was
Second quarter. I think it was
third.
No, I think it was 20-7, 20-6 at the time. 26.
okay. Yeah.
Because I wrote
Man.
something up on it. I feel like it was 20-6. It was bad. There's no doubt about it. And I wish CJ Moore hadn't been an idiot because he would have been better at it. He's way faster. I don't know if Jalen Reeves maybe is really the right guy to be doing that in the first place.
That's what I mean. Like,
I mean, even when they converted against Kansas City, it was like a 4th and 1, and he got 1.
yeah. Yeah.
Jalen Reeves
Those
maybe
are-
runs a 4.68. CJ Moore runs a 4.38. So a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was wrong, by the way. Chet's telling me it was the third quarter, and it was 23-14.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
Ryan, I missed hitting my my parlay by half a yard of JJ McCarthy. He got 17 instead of 17.5.
Did he take a knee at the end?
No. Well, he did, but it didn't. They don't negatively take that off.
Really?
He had 17. Yeah, I know. I thought they would as well. Unless maybe they did, and it would. Then I lost by a yard and a half. But yeah, when he ran for 17, I was like, give me another yard, and I'll be happy. Nope. I had Corum and Marvin Harrison touchdowns, and then I had
traitor.
Michigan winning, and I had something else. No, I knew he was going to score. It's Marvin Harrison. I mean, like you knew that was going to happen.
I bet you
right?
hope he
Like,
goes to Chicago too, you sick bastard.
Well, no, I don't, because I want him to be successful.
Why do you want him to be successful?
Dots.
I like him. I think I like him as a player. I'd like him to be successful. And
I'm an Ohio State fan.
he's like one of the most. He's like it's so weird. Like, I like Taylor Decker too. So that's mark that against me, I guess.
As soon as Marvin Harrison becomes a Lion, you can be a fan of him. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't have to worry about him in college anymore, right? It's not like they're making the playoffs.
Well, I mean, if we're going to take things as being, signs of things to come down the road,
Yes.
Like, is UCLA just going to dominate the Big Ten next year the way that Kenny Clark made Graham his little boy?
I don't think so, because they're losing their best player. So
God,
UCLA
pulling
they have to
Kenny
hit the
Clark is
reset
from
button.
UCLA. That's I wouldn't have known that.
Well, I know Jeremy loves Kenny Clark though. Every time we do a preview podcast, Jeremy's so excited to always talk about Kenny
I'm
Clark.
just
he's like people don't talk about Kenny Clark enough. He's really good.
He also had like 5 tackles for loss in our Madden sim, which
8 pressures on Thursday.
yeah, that was a rough game for everyone on the offensive line. Everyone.
I'm done saying nice things about people in the Pride of Detroit Direct. Like, I wrote about Graham this week, and I was like, people should be thankful for how awesome Graham has been this year.
They still should be. He's allowed to have one bad game.
For sure. You know who isn't allowed, though? Khalil Dorsey. If you return another kick out of the end zone, I swear to God.
What? Wait, didn't he get it past the 25 most times?
No.
Not the last one.
No.
The last one
No.
was-
Stop returning kicks. This offense doesn't need your extra 3 yards at the risk of you fumbling the ball like somebody else did the week before.
Don't yell at him for Craig Reynolds' fumble.
That was correct.
You pay for the sins of Craig Reynolds, Khalil Dorsey.
Listen, you don't have to convince me.
True.
I think the kickoff should be gone completely. I think any team that is bothering risking Actually, I think the risk is more on the kicking side in general. I think you should be kicking it out of the back of the end zone every single time because
100%.
the reward of stopping them at the 20-yard line instead of the 25 is not worth the risk of them returning it for a touchdown. But
Yeah.
not everyone sees it that way.
Yeah, there's also some teams that are getting like pretty cute with how they kick. And like I saw there was a game in the 1:00 window where like it was just a dribbler that went out of bounds before the pylon. So guess what? Now the offense started at the 40, which I feel like is like it's like one of the first rules I learned playing Madden was like you can't kick the ball out of bounds on a kickoff or else the offense starts at the 40.
Yeah.
But like even now that I think about it, I'm like, man, starting at the 40 is like a huge advantage for like such an insignificant, inconsequential play as like kicking the ball off.
Yeah.
Like
it's stupid. Get rid of the kickoff.
Make it a 30.
The evolution of special teams rules is just there's no logic or reason to it because that rule was put into place so that you would have to keep the ball in the middle of the field so that they would have to create returns.
Right.
So the opportunity was it right. So it's gone from like, hey, don't kick it out of bounds because we want returns to, oh, we're worried about safety. So now we want you to kick it out of bounds, but you can't go that way because of that rule. So now you have to go this way. Like,
It's true.
it's just, it's
25. The ball goes down to 25 after the other team scores points.
Yeah. And if you want an onside kick it, 4th and 15 or 4th and 20 from your own 25-yard line. That's your onside kick.
What about for after safeties?
30-yard line.
Ooh, little extra.
A little extra.
I like
Make
it because it follows Eric's earlier point of they make no sense.
Yeah.
And
Right? It is the 40 in the NFL prime. It is the 35 in college.
Yeah.
Which I think we saw in the Michigan-Ohio State game, right? Someone kicked it out of bounds. I think Michigan did.
kicked it out of bounds. Yeah.
Oh gosh, you remember the Packers game a few years ago when who was it?
Oh,
I can't.
You're talking about the guy who
Packers
straddled out of bounds and touched the ball?
Put his foot out.
Yeah.
That was one of the veteran receivers.
Was it
One
Randall
of the
Cobb?
No, it was one of their. He wasn't like you'd know him, but he wasn't like somebody where you were like, oh, he was great, but you'd know his name because he was with him for like 8 years or 10 years or something. Ridiculous.
Was it Montgomery?
What,
Ty Montgomery?
Ty Montgomery?
This is going what you're talking about. I think is even further back. It was like, geez.
Was it Caldwell days? I feel like it was Caldwell days.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like it might not have been that long ago, but I don't know. It was definitely not longer than Caldwell days. I don't want to think.
You guys want to keep talking about
the
special
Packers.
teams?
I don't want to talk about the Packers. I don't want to talk about special teams. What are we doing here? Mr. Broker, thank you for the 20-month subscribe to the channel. Tier 2. Guys, we are $680 away from 17K raise for the Alzheimer's Association and another spin on the Wheel of Pain. Remember that you can turn in your donations for several prizes, whether you want us to write something on our face, slam an egg on one of our heads, except for Eric. He's getting a pass because he's filling in and the household is out of eggs.
Holidays. And I have like 11 coming my way or something like that, I think. So it's just not today. I wasn't prepared for it.
Well, how much gets you a mute? I don't remember. Chat, how much gets you can mute one of us in the middle of the show? You can change my virtual background for $75. Mute is $50. You can write an article for Pride of Detroit for $500. If you want to just write something, if you got something burning that you need expressed on Pride of Detroit, $250 donation to the Alzheimer's Association. 500, sorry, 500. And you can join the podcast with an $1,000 donation. Just throwing it out there. And as a reminder, too, a week from Tuesday, not this upcoming Tuesday, a week from Tuesday is when we're going to be doing our marathon stream, which will be from 8 a.m. Eastern to midnight that Tuesday. Have not booked the guests yet, but we have some guests that have tentatively agreed, and it's going to be a big, fun show.
I've heard of one of those, at least one of the confirmed names that I'm very excited about.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Anyways, keep all that in mind in the next 10 days or so.
I redeemed a list cast.
Oh, you did. That's right. I did see that. What do you want us? What do you want us to list cast?
I wanted us to list cast our 3 teams that I wanted us to rank 3 teams that you wouldn't want the Lions to play in the playoffs in the first round as the 2 seed. So who are the 3 rank how you like 1 you would want to play them the least, 3 you wouldn't mind playing them.
This is realistic non-division winners essentially.
Yeah, realistic non-division winners.
And you're saying it's a 3 seed or does it not really matter?
No, I mean like pretend that like the Lions are the 2 seed.
Okay.
Like who are 3 teams rank them in order of how you'd like to play them from most to least.
Least is the Cowboys. That defense is going to be tricky.
Yeah. I guess it goes to your point though. Is 8-3. Like, do you see them being a 7 seed?
No.
Yeah.
They won't be.
But they would be they would be by far and away the non-divisional winner that I would probably be most scared to play in the first round.
Right.
Seahawks is next.
Probably.
Right?
Probably.
I think it would have to be Seahawks. They lost to the Seahawks. When's the last time they beat them? They beat them last
but they took them to overtime. And the Seahawks are not exactly trending in the right direction right now either.
Okay, who would you take over them then?
I don't think I'd want to play the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, more than the Seahawks?
Like, there's way too much bad juju wrapped up in that, and I would be so afraid that Jared Goff would just fold because of the big narrative that would be going on for a week.
Stafford wouldn't fold under that pressure?
Come on, Dees.
Who's won a Super
Dees
Bowl?
nuts.
Who knows what it takes?
Wow, you just pulled the quarterback wins in favor of Matthew Stafford. How about that?
Well, I think I agree with Eric. I think the Seahawks defense is better. I think that they could generate more turnovers than Los Angeles's defense could. But also, if Jonah Jackson doesn't come back soon, I really wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want Coyote in there blocking Aaron Donald, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Fair. Gosh, I see people starting to bring up the Rams thing again. It feels like anytime the Rams win a game, they're like, "Oh, what if the Lions play them in the playoffs?" Who was it? Michael David Smith who brought it up today. Someone on Twitter did. I'm like, okay, we're doing this again. And every single time, I was like, "Oh, what if that happens? That'd be crazy, huh?" And yeah, it'd be crazy, and I would not enjoy the emotions of the day. And I also fear Matthew Stafford against this pass defense currently. They have a lot of good receivers or receivers who are playing well because Matthew Stafford's their quarterback.
There it is.
I'll be right back. I gotta get a plug. I forgot that we logged on and we're talking earlier, and my computer's running low on battery, so I gotta get a charger before we start our segment. So keep going without me.
Yeah, Stafford was lighting things up. I think he had 3 touchdowns in the first half of that game. But yeah, I'm trying to look at the standings and teams that are still in the hunt.
I think it'd probably go Seahawks, Rams.
This is teams you don't want to face or teams you do want to face?
That I do want. So, the number 3 team is the team that I would want to play the most.
Okay.
Which I think would be the Vikings.
Yeah. I mean,
I think I'd want to play the Vikings.
Mine would be like an NFC, like whoever the Falcons or Saints. Whichever one doesn't win the NFC South, but I don't know how much I think that's realistic, right? That would be like my number 1.
I mean, currently the team that is not the division leader is 10th.
Right. But they're tied with Green Bay.
And they are tied with
the
Los
Rams.
Angeles too, right?
Yeah. They're all 5 and 6. So they're in the hunt, so to speak. So I mean, if I can cheat, that would be my number 1 most preferred team. I think my second most preferred team Would it be Green Bay? I think it'd be Green Bay. And then least. I'll make it 5. So Saints or Falcons. What'd I say next? Packers.
No, yeah, Packers. Yeah.
Rams. Vikings.
Oh, thank you.
Seahawks. Cowboys.
Okay.
In that order. Of course, this is all speculative. There's 6 weeks left.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
fun in
like,
it.
I think the New Orleans Saints. I don't know. I guess I'll let you know my answer after this week.
After this week, yeah, right.
Yeah.
We did get a.
Any of you? Did either of you say the Packers?
The Packers were second on my most preferred list, behind Atlanta or New Orleans, whichever team doesn't win the NFC South.
Okay, interesting.
Bring him back. Let's run it back.
All right.
We,
I don't like the matchup with them as well as I do some of the other teams.
I maintain that the Lions are a much better team than the Packers.
I don't disagree. I just think they match up better with some other teams.
Yeah, it's stupid to say it. It's like very John Madden, but like all day I just wanted to, on Thursday, I was like, I wish I could just tweet out if Jared Goff doesn't turn the ball over 3 times. I don't think the Lions lose this game, but like, it's a very dumb thing to say, but it's also like, I feel like the Lions and Packers are much closer to being that week 4 matchup than they were being this week 12 matchup. Like, I think that those are who those teams really are.
I agree with that. I think they're in a little bit of a slump, right? So
I guess
they'll get out of it. I mean, teams go through that. San Fran lost 3 in a row. You know what I mean? Like, it's not uncommon for teams to lose. So
I know. Do you think right now that there's just a part of the fan base right now that just I hate the idea of the whole like learning how to win kind of thing, but do you feel like there's an aspect of like the doomerism that happens after a loss that's like, guys, like, do you know how good you have to be a football team that only loses 1 or 2 games? Like,
right.
You have to be an incredible football team. Like, maybe the Lions aren't that, but like they're still good. Like,
no, I agree. I'm with you. Look, they're 8 to get 8 wins in 11 games it's not an easy feat, and it's not something to be, just dismissed. Very distracting.
Yeah, what does that say?
When the Lions will work, where the Lions will work. Oh boy.
What is this?
$75 donation from Anonymous changed my background.
And they sent it. They sent that background to you.
They sent that background to me.
Nice.
Nick,
that's pre-planning.
Thank you, Nick the Greek.
Booze and Bub, thank you for the 13-month subscribe to the channel. Says F Ohio, crying Ryan on the hot seat. Not you.
No, he's in trouble.
Says oh and go Lions.
Can I tell you? I'm surprised he's not fired yet.
I'm not. I think people overreact a little bit to the 1 game.
You mean 3 games?
Yeah, but do you remember what Jim Harbaugh's start at Michigan was like?
It's a little different.
Is it? Was he like 1 for 5 in Michigan State and Ohio State games through 3 years?
It's a little different with the prodigal son versus like Ryan Day. You know what I mean? The replacement to the prodigal son. Like Urban could have done it. Urban could have lost 3 times. They wouldn't have cared. Ryan Day loses 3 times. Get that schlub out of there. You know what I mean?
I think you just want to see the satisfaction of Ohio State firing a coach.
No. Keep Ryan Day. He's the best thing to happen to Michigan. No, keep him.
Nah.
Which player outside of Marvin Harrison either U of M? I wrote a whole article on the U of M and Ohio State guys.
Yeah, but you didn't list your preferences over
I leaned on it a little bit.
Sure.
I like Zinter. Unfortunately, he's gonna fall a little bit. But if he's able to come back like by training camp, which is kind of like what the timeline suggests, he might not fall as far as, if it was like an ACL or something, right? Man, I love Mike Sanders still. I think Mike Sanders still was probably my favorite player playing in that game, but he's redundant to Branch, but maybe that's why I like him.
They played him a little bit on the outside in that game. They had
yeah, they play him a lot on the outside all the time. But he's only 5'9", so like it's really hard to make a living in the NFL at that size. But he's got the mentality, he's got the aggression. I think I fall in love with these defensive backs that can be really good, like slot corners.
Yeah,
like Devin Witherspoon and Brian Branch, and maybe it's just that I like gravitate to. But Sanders is one of my favorite players.
But Eric, I mean, what if I told you that he could end up on a team where the defensive coordinator himself was a successful quarterback
at 5'9",
was only 5'9"?
Yeah, I don't think that has escaped my memory here. Yes.
Oh, you mean the guy who made that tackle on Barry Sanders' 2001 yard run?
I think if honestly, in all seriousness though, if there's a guy that was playing yesterday that like has a very realistic chance of like being the Lions like first round pick, I'd say it would be Jack Sawyer, their outside linebacker. Sam, basically he's like a defensive end / stand-up pass rusher. He is every bit of what they want in a Sam. And we were talking earlier in the first segment about like how I think that's going to be a massive priority. They're going to need a defensive tackle, but I don't know if they're going to find one in this class. To get a pass rusher that can be that Sam for them, Sawyer's one of the better Sam hybrid type guys. He's big. He can set the edge. He's good against the run. He's not as elite as a pass rusher as some of the other edge rushers in this class, but like he's a guy that I think he could be in the Lions range. Yes, JTT is better than Sawyer, but I don't think he will be on the board when the Lions are picking, which is why I say Sawyer is maybe a more realistic guy that could end up, because he fits what the Lions are going to need, right? Like line him outside of Pascal, it's a problem.
I didn't know Jonathan Taylor Thomas was eligible finally.
He is. He used up his last year of eligibility.
Oh, we knew he grew up with, Lions pennants in his room.
We did? We knew that? Everyone knew that? Or you knew that? Everyone?
Eric's favorite player.
He was at the game. That's why they lost, by the way.
He's always at the Thanksgiving game, and they've lost 6 straight.
Oh, man,
7 straight.
That's why.
Don't put that on Buzz Lightyear.
Don't remind me that he's the voice of Buzz Lightyear.
We were watching the Barry documentary and this morning, and he's in it. Spoiler. And there was a segment where they're just talking about like how the perception of Detroit and how crime rates and blah 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 blah. And someone cleverly said Tim Allen added to the crime rate in Detroit. I'm like, that's funny. That's funny. That's true and funny. Anyways,
all right.
I've met Tim Allen. He's not the nicest person.
Oh, putting him on blast publicly. It's not really that surprising, based on what I know about him.
No.
Anyways, we don't stand for Tim Allen here. We don't stand for Kid Rock here. If you got a problem with that.
The only thing
Tim
that
Robinson
we stand for is a new Sam linebacker.
All right, time to get back into it. Chad, I am going to warn you right now, this is probably going to just be a 2-segment podcast because it's already 9:30, first of all. Second of all, I think we're all trying to move on a little bit. So, anyways, that's what we're going to do. Sound good?
That sounds great. Zay Flowers, I don't know if you guys saw, but
No.
his touchdown celly was so good. He did the toss the bouquet like he was a bridesmaid.
Did he throw the ball?
Yeah, he threw the ball, and I think it was OBJ caught it and got down on one knee.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Oh, it was Rashad Bateman. Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
So good it caused a delay game, says Big Walt, which is even better.
Good, because didn't they flag for the? Did they do limbo? Was that the one?
Who?
Oh man, there was some team that did a human limbo.
Oh, I've seen that
Like
before.
for a celebration, and
Yeah.
they got flagged for it. And I was like, stop flagging stuff that's fun.
Podcast schedule this week. I haven't talked with Eric about midweek, but that might be on board this week. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hoping to, yeah. That's the plan. I haven't confirmed, but that's the
Okay.
plan.
Yeah, and then we'll do a first bite either on Wednesday or Thursday night. Probably aim for Wednesday. What's the Thursday night game? Depends on the Thursday night game. If it's an important one, we'll aim for Wednesday night. Cowboys Seahawks.
Seems mildly important.
Dang it. We'll try to aim for Wednesday night for that. Anyways, let's get back into it. And we are back here on the POD cast, recapping week 12 and really now looking forward to week 13 and beyond, because obviously there's a lot of people that are concerned right now. It's hard not to blame them, right? The defense is not playing particularly well right now. The offense is having their fair share of struggles. And you look ahead at this Lions schedule and maybe you see some teams that weren't weren't as bad as maybe you thought they were, right? You know, Denver has won 5 straight, I believe. Minnesota has won 5 out of 6. Dallas is starting to pick things up. The Bears are starting to pick things up. Saints not so much. And so I guess let's just kind of start with big picture right now. Like, how concerned are you? I mean, missing the playoffs entirely is still, it's not going to happen. Lions are like 97, 98, 99% still to make the playoffs and playoff odds. They'd have to at least go 2-4 down the stretch, pretty much, to miss the playoffs. And that's with some teams winning out that aren't likely to win out. So let's put that aside. But I guess given how the Lions are performing right now, given that Green Bay has a little bit of life, Minnesota has some more life. We'll see how they play against the Bears on Monday night. Division odds, divisionally, what's your concern level on a scale of 1 to 10? Eric first.
2, 1. Like, it's not.
Okay.
I'm not overly like. I'm not too scared of the division at all. I know it's only 2 games. Potentially going to be 3 if the Bears
2.5.
Beat 2.5. Thank you.
Yeah.
But with only 6 games left and 2 of them against the Vikings, I'm not as worried about that. So yeah, I'd say I'll bump it up. I'll say like 2.
All right. So again, Eric is doing something that he did off stream, or not, but in the break where he just takes a number and then takes all the numbers behind it too. But I'm gonna go at a 1. And it's because I feel like the Lions control their own destiny, large in part because they play the Vikings twice, and I think that they're the team that is the threat. Like, the Packers are not the threat. The Packers are not winning the division. But the Vikings are a threat, and it maybe it bumps up to a 2 if the Vikings win on Monday night. Just because, okay, like, now you really do have to beat them twice. I think to lock up the division, but I for now, like, it's a 1. I'm not that worried.
Yeah, I think a split with Minnesota leaves you in a pretty darn good position, right? Like,
And sweeping them, it's like
So it's over.
it's over.
Right.
Yeah.
No shot. And the tricky part is looking at the schedule, right? I mean, a Bears win would be huge, right? I think that would drop me from what I'm probably at right now, which is like maybe a 3.5 and 4 to a 2 to a 1. If the Vikings lose, it's not over, but you need a Viking sweep and maybe even more than that for them to catch the Lions. But you look at their schedule: Bears, Raiders team that's showing some signs of life, a Bengals team that is not showing any signs of life without Joe Burrow, Lions twice, and the Packers as well on Sunday night, which would be an interesting one in between, sandwiched in between those Lions games. And then
Okay, I'm up to a 2 now.
Okay.
Just listed off their schedule.
And then, like I said, you look at the Lions schedule, and it's not as easy as I think a lot of people were thinking before. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's tough. I don't think the Saints on the road is that tough. You should play better against the Bears, and I don't think you can assume that just because the Bears took you to the brink at home that they're going to beat you at Soldier. But Soldier's not also going to be an easy game. And then you got Broncos, again, a team that's showing some signs of life. I still think they're a little fraudulent. And then Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings. But I don't know. I think I'm at about a 4. I still mostly confident the Lions are going to win the division, but they have to play a lot better than they've been playing. And I think that's where I want to shift the conversation to here, because I don't think that 2 games is necessarily a trend, but at the same time, they were sloppy against the Raiders too. And they won that game handily because they're a lot better than the Raiders, but I don't think there's a team like the Raiders left on the schedule. I don't think there's a team that bad on the schedule. So I don't know how much you can continue to get away with sloppy play. And I don't know. I think the conundrum I'm facing right now, and a lot of Lions fans is figuring out who the Lions are right now. Because when you analyze something like that, part of you wants to say, okay, well, you're probably more like the team that you most recently played as. You're trending in a direction for reasons. Whether it's your scheme's not working or your scheme is working, your young players are getting better, your certain players are getting worse. Or do you pay more attention to the whole grand scheme of things? Do you pay attention to the fact that the Lions offense has been phenomenal for most of the year when they're not turning the ball over? Do you pay any attention to the fact that a month or two ago the defense was actually playing kind of okay? Does that factor into the equation at all? Or do you only focus on the fact that right now the Lions defense has struggled, and since week 7 or whatever it is, they are 32nd in EPA allowed? It's kind of a weird balance to be thinking right now, because I don't know which one to put more. This is kind of the challenge I have when I put together my on paper previews. Do I take the whole chart, or do I pay a little bit more attention to the recent chart? And I think we're only really going to know the answer to that question when we get to week 18, but it's a tricky dilemma right now for trying to identify what this Lions team is right now.
You were getting dangerously close to saying the word momentum there.
Absolutely.
I was a little bit worried for you.
Absolutely wasn't.
For me, I think I look at the whole picture for a couple reasons. One, because I think it shows potential. 2, because it fits my narrative better. But I think, like, if you're going to be optimistic, you have to be able to look back and say, look, this is what they can do. And
they're capable of, yeah.
Yeah, and because you've seen time and time again the offense click at a level that is very difficult for other teams to keep pace with. Are there concerns? Yes. And we talked about those in the first segment, right? Like, there are problems with this defense that they have to correct. They've become predictable. They've become passive in a lot of ways. And if those don't get correct, like, that's where I'm drawing more from like the recency stuff, but like the offense, the collective body of work the offense has put together gives me the confidence that I think the offense is going to come back, and I believe they can be good enough to overcome even some of the deficits of the defense.
And I think with the offense, it's the self-inflicted stuff. right? Like the self-inflicted stuff that's happened the past 2 weeks, like we talked about in the first segment, like you can clean that stuff up. And if you can fix that stuff, and there's enough of a body of work that says this offense is working, and when it gets to play on its, own terms, it's one of the best offenses in the league. I don't think that 2 games that primarily the offense's limitations were fueled by their own downfall, turnovers. Like turning the football over is going to kill any offense. Doesn't matter how good your offense is. Like you're turning the football over, you're losing football games.
Right.
They escaped with a victory against Chicago. They didn't escape with a victory against Green Bay. Like I think that, to I guess your point though, Jeremy, like, yeah, you want to have an understanding of these past 2 games where, okay, yeah, we see that this offense isn't a superhuman offense. It can't stretch beyond its bounds and make up for when it shoots itself in the foot a bunch of times. But I don't know how many offenses can. I don't think that's a uniquely Detroit problem. And I want to say that, like, there's enough data, not even just going back, Jeremy, to like, the back to the beginning of the season, but like
Chargers, right?
yeah, like, I mean, there's so much to look at from the season that says, yeah, there's enough there. There's enough there to be confident in the offense.
Well, let's turn to the other side of the ball, because I think most people would agree that this offense is still capable and more than likely going to continue to be at least a top 10 offense, maybe even a top 5 offense, considering where the health of the team is at, and hopefully Jonah Jackson comes back and makes that offensive line complete for the 3rd game all season. Defensively, though, the issues are more complicated. The likelihood of a turnaround or maybe slightly less. And I want to focus on the pass rush first, because that's the one that Dan Campbell was asked about after the game, and I thought he had a very interesting answer. Wasn't necessarily one I agreed with, but I'm going to read it here. He says, quote, "Same guys we've had here, and we've been able to generate pressure. And so this unit is going to be just fine. We're going to get going, and we pressured a little more today, played a little tight, but these are our guys, man. And these guys can do it, and they've done it. The same thing we just faced there. We went out to Green Bay, and we were able to create pressure. And that Green Bay game feels like in Green Bay ages ago. But he's right. That game, they absolutely terrorized Jordan Love, and it was a big reason they jumped out to that 28-3 lead, or whatever it was, 27-3. But the inconsistencies are way, way, way too much. And part of it is schematic things where I do think they tend to, they really like contain. But also, I think it feels like every other week, Dan Campbell is saying we got to start winning our one-on-ones. And who amongst that group is capable of winning their one-on-ones outside of Aleem and Aiden? I don't think it's anybody, because they're asking, again, I think it goes back to the preference of stopping the run, because he's talked about some of the problems have been that transition from a run stop to a pass rush. I don't know who's capable of doing that on this team other than Aiden Hutchinson, other than Aleem McNeil. And so Dan's faith that it's just going to happen with this group, that he just needs to motivate them a little bit more, that they just need to get their fundamentals down a little bit. I don't know if I believe. I mean, they've had 4 or 5 games where they've had 0 sacks, and then 90% of their sacks come in 3 different games. That's not good enough. That's not consistent enough for me to believe that's going to turn around.
Yeah, like this was the problem earlier in the season, right? And he said a similar thing, where he said the transition from run to pass rush is not happening fast enough and needs to click faster. Yeah. And he's right. It does need to click faster. And if that happens, they will be a better unit. The issue is when it doesn't happen, you need to have a counterpunch. Yep. You need to be able to come up with plan B. And right now they don't seem to have a plan B, or if they do, it doesn't come till the fourth quarter, right? You need to, with the Bears game, you had a plan B. It was, if Justin Fields is going to get us, we have to switch to this. And they did, and it worked, and it slowed them down, and it forced the Bears to get off of their, pre-planned hand the ball to, or have Justin Fields running on first down every time. They didn't have that in Green Bay, and they didn't really have that in LA either, right? Like they didn't have that adjustment. And then unless they have that adjustment ready and Aaron Glenn is ready to pull the trigger on it, it's going to be a hard road for this defense to make changes. So can things click? Yeah, that'd be the best case scenario. But if they don't, Aaron Glenn has to make a decision and he has to have another idea in his pocket.
And I don't know if it's as simple as just waving your wand and saying blitz more, because I mean, here's the thing. The Lions, so far this season, and their blitz rate has gone up, because I mean, what, through the first like 4 or 5 weeks or something like that, like they were, I think, lowest in the league.
Yeah.
Or if not 32nd, 31st, but they've kind of climbed up here a little bit. And now they're sitting at 20.8%. Looking at Pro Football Focus against the Packers, I mean, they blitzed on 14 of Jordan Love's 33 dropbacks. Like, and if those numbers are true, then like, I mean, the Vikings have the highest blitz rate at 47%. I mean, the Lions were darn near close to it. That didn't help it. It didn't fix much. Like, I don't think the answer is as simple as we'll just send extra defenders. Like, because I think that's putting a stress test on the secondary, and especially the middle of the field and the coverage linebackers. And if it's not Alex Anzalone, I'm really worried about what that second level can do in terms of pass defense. Yeah. I think that there's some legitimate reason. And again, I'm not saying we should be concerned or worried about Jack Campbell, because linebacker is just a super hard position to learn, and there's going to be this huge learning curve. But like, that just hasn't been there at all this year. And I think that's I don't know. Again, that's not a spot that I think you can clean up down the stretch here. I think that's something that, we mentioned earlier. It's like an off-season issue to address.
Yeah, you're right. The one thing I do wonder, though, is whether the Lions will make a big sweeping change schematically, because we know
how big.
I mean, I don't know. I'm
not asking you the question, but I'm asking you the question.
Right.
Do you think Aaron Glenn's job is?
No, I don't think they're going to fire Aaron Glenn mid-season.
No, not now. But I'm saying, like, how they perform over this stretch here down the end, and whatever happens in the playoffs. Like,
no, I mean, I doubt it, but I'm not.
I do too.
But my only point is that we've seen this habit from this team. They don't get complacent when things start going south with one side of the ball. They figure things out. They try different things. And listen, the Lions have tried a lot of different things this year. We were talking off air about all the changes they've made at Sam linebacker, right? They've tried to find 5 or 6 guys that can play that position. They're still trying to figure that one out. But I think we're getting to a point here where it's 3, 4, 5 games in a row now where the defense is just getting killed out there, and they're going to have to find some answers. And now I do wonder, they've got 10 days in between games here. Are they going to come out and try something differently? We've seen this team get better in the second half of the season consistently through the first 2 years. Maybe that's just 2 data points that don't happen to have a correlation. Maybe it's just happenstance. Maybe it's just a really young team getting better in the second half of the season. But it's disappointing to see them heading in the other direction at the halfway point of the season now, particularly on defense. So I'm hoping that's one of the things that actually keeps me a little bit hopeful about the stretch of 6 games. Everyone seems to think, well, 2-3 data points, we see a downward trend, we see that where this is going. The Lions are going to blow another division lead. They're going to lose. I mean, here's the thing. Think of the NFL. Think of where you were in this NFL season 3 weeks ago. Your perception of a bunch of these teams, your perceptions of Denver, your perception of the Lions, your perception of the Bills, your perception of the Bengals. Way different than it is now. Well, fast forward 3 weeks, it could be the exact same here. It could be the exact same thing about Minnesota. It could be things change so quickly in the NFL, and each game means so much that the way we alter our perceptions of these teams just swings wildly week to week. And that's why sometimes I do go back to the fuller body of work rather than where these 2 data points are trending. So that was supposed to be my optimistic pitch about going forward, because I do think we don't know. I do think I'm not completely giving up on this defense. I do think they're going to try to figure some things out. I don't think they're going to get better players. I don't think Bruce Irvin is suddenly going to be a 7-sack guy down the stretch here. He's not going to have a James Houston-esque tear. And there are going to continue to be coverage issues. There are going to continue to be pass rush issues. But I think there's enough guys in that building to realize something needs to change defensively. And I just don't think they're going to sit on their hands. And even though that is kind of what Dan Campbell seems to be saying, it's like, we got the guys. It's going to be fine. I think behind the scenes, he's going to be a little bit more like, all right, we got to get things going here, fellas. What are we going to do? That's where I'm at.
Eric, I don't know if it's just me, but I know, especially on Thursday, it felt like as I was watching the defense get set, and I don't know if it's me just having too much tunnel vision and just watching too much Lions football, but it seems like, and I know that Campbell and Glenn, they've talked about the issues in terms of communication with the defense. It just seems like right up to the snap, there's a lot of guys that are like motion, they're making hand signals to one another. People are, it seems like that they're just a bit out of sorts all the way up until when the ball snapped. And I guess I just noticed that a bit over the past 2 weeks. And especially so on Thursday, where it's like, man, like these guys were getting it figured out all the way up until the point where the ball was getting snapped.
There were a couple instances where they were still moving at the snap too. They run 2 different levels of communication with the linebackers, adjusting the line in front of them, and then the defensive backs adjusting the linebackers and the safeties adjusting the other defensive backs, and will sometimes ask the linebackers to do stuff. So they have this layered system. So it takes a little bit more communication, and the whole zone scheme that they run is based on communication. So whenever you have a team that runs motion, they're going to be yelling at each other and stuff like that. That's comes with the nature of their opponent. But I agree with you. I think some of it is the motion, the scheme, the fact that they were in zone a ton. But I do agree with you that there were times that Jeremy and I turned to each other and were like, they didn't know what was going on right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it was either late adjustments or they were audibling or something. Like it did seem a little bit disheveled at times against Green Bay.
All right, last thing before we get out of here, let's try to end on an optimistic note here. Tell me one player in these final 6 games that is going to explode, is going to reach maybe some potential that we haven't seen yet, that is going to be absolutely essential to what the Lions do down the stretch here. It can be on either side of the ball. Who's one guy you think he hasn't quite broken out yet, but we got a third of the season left here. Plenty of time for this guy. Just break out.
I don't know if I quite have my answer, but I do want to say that it's kind of been the worst thing that's happened, where last year not enough people were talking about John Kaminsky, and now nobody's talking about John Kaminsky. So it would be nice if people started talking about how nobody's talking about John Kaminsky anymore. So I would appreciate that to happen. He's already kind of broken out, but I guess my answer would be Sam Laporta.
Okay.
Like I think that there's Goff. I mean, it's clear that Goff just loves targeting that guy. And I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't, right? And I think that down the stretch here, like I feel like the Lions are going to really want to stick to what they know and what they do well. And I think it's just like between the numbers, man. Like I think that it's running the football and it's Goff working in the middle of the field. And that feels like the recipe to success. And I think that one of the guys who could really break out would be Laporta, even though he's, technically already broken out, but
it feels like he's hit a little bit of a mid-season lull.
Bit. Yeah.
That's not
you
fair,
wonder if it's the rookie wall maybe, but he caught a touchdown pass.
He sure did.
On Thursday.
Bruce Irvin. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
My gut says the player that's trending on a upward scale over the last several games is J-Mo, because he has been slowly getting more involved and more involved and more involved. His snap counts are going up and up and up and up. And it seems very logical that if the offense is going to take off, they're going to need to incorporate him more. He's getting more. He's only getting about the same amount of targets, but the opportunities seem to be more opportunistic, right? Like he has a much better chance now as opposed to earlier when it seemed like they were trying to force it, right? So that makes, I mean, it's probably the easy answer. But if I think that's probably the player who seems to be on that trajectory, for me, I guess.
Yeah, that does feel like the right answer. And as the Lions and Goff gets more trust and chemistry with him, it feels like the targets are going to start to increase in a very serious way. Really, at any moment. Even, it felt like there was a couple plays in for him last week and hit on a couple of them, and that's just going to increase and increase and increase. I feel like I have to go defensive side of the ball just to provide a little bit more optimism because you guys are too scared. And I get it. The defense doesn't look very promising right now.
I was expecting Ryan to take JMO, so I was going to go defense. I'll have a defensive one if you don't pick my guy.
Don't take this as a slight, but JMO felt like the obvious answer. So I tried to go off the beaten path.
Low-hanging fruit, man. I'll take it.
Here's who I want it to be, and I'm not so sure if it is or isn't going to be, but it's a guy who was trending up at this point last season. This is about the time where he started to break out last season.
Same guy.
Kirby Joseph.
Isaiah Bucks. Oh.
Kirby's had a rough year. He has not been particularly great as a deep safety. He's been late to a lot of deep balls. It's been the reason why some of these teams have been able to connect on some deep shots. Dan Campbell said it after the game. We need to start creating turnovers. We need to be that team. That's how the defense turned around last year. It wasn't a lot of down-to-down efficiency. It was creating turnovers. And he is the best ball hawk on the team. He just needs to put himself into better positions. He needs to remember to do his job because he's the kind of guy that tends to play out of position sometimes because he thinks he sees something. And a lot of times that can look really good and a lot of times that can look really bad. It's very much a risk-reward kind of guy. Needs, I think, play a little bit more inside himself going down the stretch here. And if he does, those interceptions will come. So that's my guy.
That was the defender I was going to pick too. I think he's got the opportunity. It's for me, it's less about him struggling and more about him being the guy who could turn it around. Like you said at the end, like you said, he's the one who has the best chance of getting the turnovers. He has the best chance. Like he has the best chance on the defense of making a huge impact that an impact that isn't being felt right now. Right. Like Aiden, you can feel his impact. I don't think Aiden turning it up another notch or two is going to be it would be nice, but it's not going to be completely game altering the way that interceptions would be. And Kirby is the guy who can deliver that.
All right. I think we'll leave it there, fellas. As long as all that stuff happens, everything's going to be fine. And everything's probably going to be fine anyways, because here's the thing I need to keep reminding everybody. The Lions are going to make the playoffs. Almost everyone agrees with that. And if they make the playoffs, anything can happen after that. If they win a playoff game, who cares if they lose the last, 4 out of 6 or whatever it is? No one's going to care. Because all you needed to do is get in the dance, and the Lions played well enough in the first half of the season where they're in a position where they almost have to make the dance. So let's try not to stress out too much. Let's not be those guys oh, do we even want to make the playoffs? They're playing so bad. No. You want to make the playoffs. Lions are fun. Playoffs are fun. Let's enjoy it. They're going to be all right.
But Jeremy, the Lions will never get an edge rusher if they have a good record because they can't get one in the first round if they're drafting really low.
Do you remember who our general manager is? Do you remember how he can hit in the day 3 at a moment's notice?
As long as he's not drafting defensive linemen in the second round.
Second round is impossible unless you have Brian Branch. So you can't miss prospect. Or I guess Sam Laporta. Either way, guys, it's going to be okay. That's the message here. And hopefully you feel a little bit better after this podcast. We'll be back later this week, midweek mailbag, preview podcast, and we're still raising money for Movember. We only have about a week and a half left. We're going to have our marathon stream live on twitch.tv/Pride of Detroit and youtube.com/@Pride of Detroit. That is Tuesday, December 5th from 8 a.m. Eastern to midnight. You're going to want to be there. Ton of awesome guests, ton of fun, ton of prizes and shenanigans and all sorts of stuff. But until then, for Eric, for Ryan, for Chris editing this whole thing, hope you feel better, buddy. It's chaos. Be kind.
Recording stopped.
All right.
All right, cool.
We did it.
What's the score of the football game?
No idea. But I did realize, because John just sent it in our text, that no one posted the Sunday Night Football open thread. I've been really off my game lately. It is 10-3 Ravens. Into the second half.
Let's post it now.
It's second half. You just post it as the second half open thread.
I'm absolutely going to do that.
We've done that. We did that once before, and did a better late than never.
I do remember that. I've done that before. Sunday Night Football. Second.
Did he submit that he had it in? And I just must have missed it.
I missed it too.
Oh, he didn't tag anyone. That's why. He put it in Slack but didn't tag anyone. Whoops.
So you're gonna blame him for it.
Yeah, no, it's John's fault for sure.
I didn't get a ping, so I didn't check it, unfortunately.
Anyways,
Whoops.
Insider Baseball. We can hang out for a little bit more, guys. We do need about $600 more if you guys want to do a spin of the wheel of pain before we get out of here.
We could raise that money. Don't put JMO in on kickoff returns.
I wouldn't risk it.
Can you imagine if JMO got hurt on a kickoff return?
He'd fumble it.
I would not be on Twitter for at least a few hours.
You know what's a good idea? Not being on Twitter during a football game anyways.
It's a
I'm
pretty good
sorry.
experience.
You guys are absolutely nuts. Every single one of you. Every single one of you that live tweets a Lions game are out of your goddamn minds. And I'll take the $10 swear jar for that one. See, Michael T. Dunn. It's freeing. Once the game starts to turn, I'm barely tweeting from Pride of Detroit. I'm doing a little bit on my own count. I am not looking at replies. I am not looking at anyone else's feeds. I'm just sending my own thoughts, putting up a wall. I don't need to hear you guys losing your minds, talking about golf extensions in the middle of one game. I was seeing people like, oh, I hope Hendon Hooker is that guy. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what's happening right now?
Is that another one? Or?
No.
Does that count?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Jew. It doesn't count.
Just asking. The responses during the game to anything that I never catch them. I rarely catch them because there's so many people that want to chat and talk, and I feel bad, not being able to, because I feel like if you take the time to send something to me, I feel like I should try and respond, but it's impossible. It's impossible on game day because it's just people are very excited or very not excited, one or the other. And it's all caps. No matter what.
You spun that into a very positive. Oh, I wish I could have a conversation with all of you.
No.
Not me.
You
guys are crazy. I don't want to talk to any of you. I'm kidding.
I try, but sometimes I can't answer the same question multiple times, or I don't see them, or it's it's hard. It's hard to get to everything.
Someone says don't watch the Discord then, and I know that's true because a couple times Discord has sent me off because I'm like, I'm not on Discord during the game at all, but like I'll be in the middle of Dan Campbell's press conference and someone will at me on Discord and be like, "Oh, you said the Lions defense was going to kill him this week. What happened, Jeremy?" I'm like, what are you coming at me for and adding me on Discord? You are sending me a push notification while I'm in Dan Campbell's face. Leave me alone. Don't try to dunk on me after the game. What are you doing? But I love you guys. Was that convincing? What happened to Swear Jar? Swear Jar is not messed up.
It says 18. Did you add yourself one?
Yeah, I did.
Was it? Oh, okay. Good.
I'm all right. Everything's fine. Chat, you guys are being shy with the donations now. What's going on? You saving up for Thursday?
Just waiting for the 5th.
Okay. Oh, it messes up the chat box? Oh, is the chat box done now? Oh. Is it overlapping? Is that why? Did that fix it? Hold on. What's my background? An anonymous donator says where the Lions will work if they don't play better. Not that that's an illegitimate line of work.
Joshua Mercer. Nah, you said you don't want to talk to any of us, so we started our own charity drive.
Oh, I get it. You guys don't like charity now. Okay.
Oh, so I get you guys don't care about people with Alzheimer's.
That's fine. Yeah. Wow, chat.
Wow.
Real colors are showing now, chat, huh? All right. Well, I mean, we can get out of here. That's fine. It's 10 o'clock, which is usually way longer than we typically go.
The Red Wings won.
They've won like 3 in a row, right?
I think, yeah.
They're the only team to beat Boston in regulation, and they've done it twice.
You're darn right.
That's a good one, Lions blood. Charity is the name of the lion.
That's charity?
That's funny. That's funny. It's very clever.
Oh no, should I just make? Feel like I should make Pistons a banned word on Twitch just so that no one acknowledges them right now. It makes anyone feel sad.
Is Harry doing okay?
I don't know. I think he's in denial still. Oh, they're just really injured right now.
Oh no, man! I'm sorry, that's not it.
I mean, what do you expect when they're top 2 of their top 3 offensive players are out?
Oh man, it's okay. Like, here's the thing: I love being a hopeful Pistons fan. It's just like it's really easy for me to give it up. It's easy for me to give up being hopeful about them.
We're out of Eric's element and my element, to be clear.
Man, I haven't watched the Pistons in a long time.
You're not missing much, so don't worry about it.
Does Rasheed Wallace still play for them?
My favorite basketball player of all time.
He was on the coaching staff for a while, wasn't he? Or in the front office?
Forget his role exactly. I know he was coaching somewhere else. I don't know if he's made a pit stop here.
Dennis Rodman is still on the team. That's right. I've missed a couple alerts, so I want to do that real quick while you try to remember what your favorite basketball player of all time did. Mons Builder, 13-month subscriber to the channel, says this team is ahead of schedule. 3rd year of rebuild. 11-6 would be terrific. That's steady progress. Yeah, it is. And I think even though that'll be viewed as a disappointment considering how they started, that is a good thing to keep in mind. Not necessarily that I mean, year 3 of a rebuild, you can be. I wouldn't say 11-6 is ahead of schedule. I think it's on schedule. I think you can be proud of that progress. But, you know, in year 3 of a rebuild, you could realistically be a Super Bowl contender.
I wouldn't even be all that upset with the context of it too, though. You know what I mean? Like, if the Lions go from 8-2 to 11-6, like,
it's a 3-4 finish, though.
Yeah, I mean, not great, but I don't think 11 wins is a big disappointment.
Yeah,
but then again,
certainly wouldn't be at the beginning.
But then again, But then again, I'm one of 3 people in here who did not predict the Lions to win 12 games. So.
Fair.
Would it be a disappointment to you guys if they win 11-6?
Depends if it won the division or not. If it didn't, it'd be a disappointment. If the Lions don't win the division, it would be a disappointment.
They don't win it at 11-6. That means the Vikings finish what?
What are they? 5-5? 5-5 right now?
No, they're 6-5, right?
6-5. Yeah. So they finished 5-1.
That'd be a disappointment.
Yeah.
So that means that they probably beat the Lions twice.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The overall thing, and I get when this team was 8-2, we're all thinking, wow, they could be a 1 seed. That'd be crazy. The order of the wins doesn't matter. Ultimately, it doesn't. And so if I gave you 11-5 at the beginning of the season, most of you would have taken it. 11-6. Sorry. Right? Most people would take it. So just pretend they happened in a different order.
I think I predicted 10-7.
There you go. Ajarm, 32 months, subscribe to the channel, says I'm not worried about it. Not worried about any of this. I should have delivered that better. I'm trying to remember which skit was that from?
Is it the Carver vacuum cleaner?
Maybe. It's either that or corn cob.
Yeah.
Feels
it's during
like
it's during a commercial.
Yeah.
Is it corn cob? Okay.
Doot da doo. 10 months subscribed to the channel. Why do I feel like I've never said your name before? Did you change it? Either way, thank you for the 10 months. Let's go Loins. Doot da doo. So silly. I think I have some corn cob TV stickers right in front of me somewhere.
Speaking of which, though, like on Friday we had my family's side Thanksgiving, and we brought home some apple pie. And at night, I warmed up some apple pie in a bowl, put some ice cream in it. I was a really nice husband. I brought this bowl of treats to her, and she takes it from me, and she's like, "Oh my god, the bowl's so hot!" And I was like, no, it's not. Like, it totally pulled me into the gazpacho soup sketch where he spits it. He's like, expect it to be cold. It's piping hot. I was like, I carried both these bowls with my own hands, like all the way downstairs. So it's not super hot because she saw what was in it. She saw that it was ice cream. And she went and touched. She's like, oh, it's so nuts. It's not hot. It's just. I put on that sketch, and I was like, "You're the gazpacho soup guy."
Come on, Dees.
Oh, jeez. I shouldn't have opened my mouth because we were just about to get out of here, and then Joshua Mercer came along.
Oh man!
$100 donation. It says, of course, $100 donation. Of course, is an egg on a host's head. And he says, Jeremy, since he doesn't want to talk to us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
And then MNUFC, a $25 donation, says, I don't know what everyone is freaking out about. If this team makes the playoffs and finds a way to win a game, I would be ecstatic. Continuing the upward trajectory of this regime. And then wants a mini cowboy hat on my head. Yeah, I mean, I think that's completely legitimate way to look at things. And I think ultimately fans got a little bit ahead of themselves. And I'm not saying this team is not going to win a Super Bowl this year. It's possible. They could get hot still. But I think people saw that 8-2, maybe ignored some of the small signs of concern on the defensive side of the ball. And I think we're probably guilty of it a little bit too. I think if you go back and listen to some of our podcasts after some of those games, we probably were thinking very, very highly of this team. But I think at any point in the season, if you looked and took a fair, objective look at the roster, particularly on defense, does it scream Super Bowl roster when you compare it to that of the Eagles, when you compare it to that of the Chiefs? Even the Cowboys.
Well, they beat him in week 1.
I understand that, but that's not what I'm asking. The Ravens.
Why do you think
even the Cowboys? I think have a way better roster than the Lions do.
Yeah, but why do you think we did?
That doesn't mean that I think.
Why do you think we did that with the defense though? Because I mean, I was guilty of it a little bit too.
Sure. Well, I mean, statistically, they were doing great, right? I mean, there's as of right now, they are still a top 10 DVOA defense. I have a feeling that'll change after they put in the Packers information. But yeah, I think part of it is that. I think you looked at, I mean, you can fudge the numbers to look any way you want. Like the Lions probably are still, a top 10 team in pressures, but it's how they were getting those pressures that were concerning. It was taking them 10 seconds to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
It was the missed passes by Baker Mayfield, right? Oh, it was bad coverage. Who cares? He missed it.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo on Monday night.
Sure. When you don't,
That's
when it doesn't hurt you, it's not a problem.
It's not like they have a murderer's row of quarterbacks in front of them either, though. Like,
Okay, but we said that 2 weeks ago, and then Justin Fields and Jordan Love came in and looked pretty darn good. Do you think both
For
those guys are
different
better than
reasons,
Derek
though.
Carr?
in different ways. Like Justin Fields did better because he ran. Is he a better runner than Derek Carr? Yes. Is Jordan Love better than Derek Carr? Well, I saw Derek Carr throw a pick 6 today. So
It's true.
Yeah, Derek Carr. Yeah, Derek Carr is the kind of quarterback that the Lions would love to play against.
we got Carr, Fields, the
They do not
astronaut
like to play against
twice.
Fields.
Come on, Dees.
Do you know those Minnesota
Russell's
games?
not Russell anymore, right? Go ahead, yeah.
Maybe he is. I think those Minnesota games. It's stupid to say it, but like, I don't. If the Lions defense can't force any turnovers against Dobbs, those are going to be tough games for the Lions to win.
Uh-oh, Jeremy.
I didn't even get, well, MNU. We got to MNUFC's $25 donation.
Mhm.
Yeah, Detroit came in with $500 donation, which
Amazing.
pushed us over 17,000. I asked for this.
Good stuff. When are you going to the grocery store in yoga pants?
I don't know. I don't have yoga pants yet. Should I get some yoga pants for what is
Black
tomorrow?
Cyber Monday?
Cyber Monday?
Yeah, yoga pants and overalls,
Overalls.
apparently.
I was gonna say
We're not quite there yet.
we have an
I think we'll probably get
awesome
there.
cart, awesome online shopping cart.
Well,
All right. I'm going to get
So
this
you're at
over
17.
fast. Yeah.
all right. Well, okay. You're also have the egg. So
Yeah.
okay. Have you put what's your wheel spin look like?
I'm not sure. We will have to discuss that.
Okay. I will be nice to you. Because I bought those Bean Boozled. If it lands on those, I'll do it for you.
Okay. As of right now, Bean
All right.
Boozled isn't on the
Oh,
the spinny wheel.
All the better.
But
All right,
but
I
no,
guess I'm off the
I
hook.
can change it. And because Eric is throwing his hat into chat, is that okay with you? Do we put
I don't-
Bean Boozled back on there just to see Eric potentially do it?
Oh, I don't.
Everyone
we don't
wants
have
to see me eat a bug because that hasn't happened yet. And so
Hmm.
the last time we spun it, we actually had 2 spots for eat a bug.
Nobody wants to see that.
There's more yeses than nos. So we'll throw.
I'm just trying to be nice because I know you're getting an egg, so I
right.
don't want to.
We'll put Bean Boozled back on. There are some people also calling for the Saltine Serenade.
Yeah, put it on there. I'll do it.
Okay, I'm making a collective decision to take wasabi off for that.
As long as I don't have to eat another spoon of minced garlic.
Let's see. Okay. That's what I have it at now, chat. It's about to show up. So Saltine Serenade, Pickle Juice, 10 Up Downs, Bean Boozled, and Eat a Bug. I will allow you, chat. If you can agree on one, I will take it off and replace it with a second Eat a Bug.
I'll do pickle juice too. That's just because I enjoy it.
Chat, if you that's the opposite of Wheel of Pain.
I know, but it's on there. Like
Up Downs? Okay. Everyone wants me to remove Up Downs for another Eat a Bug.
I wonder why. Probably because they've never seen you do them before.
Probably because they don't want to see my crack anymore. All right. 20 Up Downs. Here's the thing. I can't. I'm actually glad we're taking that one off the board because I played 2 in Touch on Friday with a bunch of my high school buddies, which is what we do on every Friday, and I am sore as hell.
Swear jar.
Dang it! I am counting that one. Why are you the swear jar police? That's supposed to be them. Can't even see it, but I promise I just changed it to 19. Here, I'll even show you. There you go. 19. All right. All right. I think we're good. Eat a Bug, Bean Boozled, Eat a Bug, Saltine Serenade, or Pickle Juice. Okay.
All right.
Except we can't have Ryan do Pickle Juice because he likes it.
I'm gonna. You can't prevent me from doing it.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Eric, you're up, buddy.
All right, I gotta go get him. I'll be right back.
It literally landed in between the 2 eat bugs. Guess you're just gonna have to donate more, Chad, if you want to see me eat bugs.
The wheel is rigged.
It is.
All right.
It is kind of outrageous that we've spun this now 17 times and not gotten eat a bug once. And I think it's been on every single time.
Yeah, not even once. And like for the past couple times, right? It's been like had multiple spots.
I did make a deal last time and we didn't get there. I said if we got to 16,500, I'd only put eat a bug on the wheel and I'd still spin it just for the fun of it. I'd give them a bonus spin. I could do that again.
All right, so what do I need to do? I need to go get some pickle juice?
No.
Oh, okay.
It landed on Bean Boozled. You don't have to do anything unless you want to do a Bean Boozled.
Can I do pickle juice?
You know what? Bonus offer.
If it landed on Saltine Serenade, I would have been like, all right, I'm gonna go get pickle juice.
17. If we get to 17,500, Ryan will drink pickle juice. I will eat a bug.
Oh wow!
So
what
we
are
need
we at right now?
480.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
How many are you gonna do?
How many are you gonna eat, Eric? I feel like
Isn't it 3?
Yeah, we've been doing 3 standard.
Standard 3. Yeah.
All right. All right. Here's the open.
Yep.
All right. Now
Take a big whiff of that thing.
No, thank you. How do I can just take them out and set them down?
Sure.
Right?
I mean,
Is that the standard?
Yeah.
I
just
just
gotta
kind
let
of
us know what the 2 flavors are.
I blindly pick, but do whatever you want.
All right. Here's the first one. It's a brown one. I'm excited about that.
Might be poop.
Is that the
Nathan
liver and onions?
I think that
or
is a liver and
cappuccino
onions.
one.
Yeah.
or cappuccino.
I don't think I've had the liver and onions yet.
I'd rather eat
no.
poop.
Oh,
A
that's
blue.
That's the good one to have. It's either like toothpaste, yeah,
Toothpaste or berry blue. Okay.
yeah, because both those are fine.
And then the white, which is the
Ooh.
dishwater or birthday cake. Well,
Ooh.
I'm not a big fan of either of those.
I feel like I remember
So-
that one sucking.
Yeah, that was
The dishwater one
Yeah.
is gross.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit worried about that one because I saw Jeremy eat that one and he didn't seem very.
not great.
All right. So before I start, is there like a strategy on like after the fact? Like, is there?
Brush
I
your
know, like,
teeth. Get a toothpick because that stuff sticks in your teeth.
Is it like is water make it worse or anything like that? Or
You know, honestly, just wash it down with some pickle juice. You'll be all right.
What? Are you okay? Are you pregnant? Just craving pickle juice?
I don't know. It
should
is
I
what it
go?
is.
Should I go in order of that I drew them out, or should I take the white one first, which is supposed to be the worst?
No,
one?
you should definitely do that one last. That because
Really?
the most is on the line there, and I think it builds the most drama.
It does.
Oh, okay. All right, so then the brown one is first, which is liver and onions or cappuccino.
Yeah,
Mm.
This one.
that's right.
All right, hold on.
Come on,
Let me show it
Deez.
again.
These nuts.
Yeah.
Describe what that tastes like. Does it taste like liver and onions?
Have you ever had liver and onions?
Yeah. It doesn't taste like that. It tastes
I like-
oh. It's got like imagine like eating burnt hair. That's kind of like what it tastes like.
You're really giving it the business too. You're like
You're
chomping it.
I'm supposed to, aren't I?
Yeah,
Isn't this the whole point?
yeah, 100%.
Oh.
But I feel like
Ah.
people who are lesser sports would like chew on it twice and then immediately swallow it.
Oh no. I'll suffer. It's all right.
Das Gib, by the way, $100 donation says eat a bug and go Lions.
All right, the blue one is next.
380 away.
This is toothpaste or berry blue? Is that the right shade? It's a different shade on the package.
Yeah, no, it is. That's right.
All right. This one might not be bad for me.
That's what I was like. That to me, either one is not that bad. Like toothpaste, we literally put toothpaste in our mouth every day.
It's toothpaste. It's a little minty. but
That
it's not terrible.
right. Bean Boozled needs to replace that one.
Yeah. Definitely better than it offsets the liver and onions a little bit.
There you go.
Now I don't need to brush my teeth.
That's right. By far, actually, Old Bandage or Dead Fish are just the absolute worst.
Yeah, they're bad. I was just cracking up at Sundog's comment.
What's it?
Smells like burnt hair and Sasquatch's dick, and I definitely had to look that up. Cause I was like, God, what movie was that?
That's
from?
Anchorman. That's Anchorman,
It is
right?
Anchorman. Yeah.
Well, I'm 2 for 2 on bads.
Yeah.
That's not good.
But
Maybe
those
I
were
get-
those
maybe
were
I
the
get-
two to miss on compared to Dirty Dishwasher.
Well,
Unless
maybe
you go
I'll
for
get
3.
birthday cake and I won't like that.
I think it'll be okay.
So this is a lose-lose for me, I guess. All right. I got some toothpaste.
It's stuck in your teeth.
All right. Oh yeah, no. Okay, hold on. I found some liver and onion.
That's what this is the worst thing about jelly beans in general, and especially Bean
Yeah.
Boozled jelly beans.
Yeah,
They're gonna be in there for a while.
the toothpaste was okay,
Yeah.
but that liver and onion came back out after. Oh no. Make my nose run a little bit. All right. Oh god, this is the one I'm dreading because this is the one I've seen you taste, and it's
Yeah.
not great.
Yeah.
Should I delay in case anyone needs to donate?
Donate are you delaying for them to do that, or are you delaying for your own misery?
No, so the liver and onions is now lingering.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
the
right.
toothpaste is completely gone.
Well, so
The
you're
toothpaste
just
is
you're
it's
just
just
left
onion.
with the burnt hair. The burnt hair in
Yeah.
your mouth is
Yeah.
all you got.
You know,
Yep,
should wash that
that
down.
is it.
Wash that down with some birthday cake, baby.
The toothpaste, not even a hint of it anymore. It's all just kicked back in that liver. Oh man, that's the crappy part about these, huh? Is that it just lingers.
Yeah.
Well, that's crappy.
That's why I said brush your teeth.
Well, I thought that I'll just eat another blue one.
By the way, the catchy says, Ryan, your bedtime, bro.
Oh yeah, Ryan's got to get up early for school. I guess I do too, but
Whatever. Life goes on.
Oh, bloody.
oh no, this is terrible.
Yeah.
All three of them were bad. That's baloney.
That's wild too, because Jeremy he's avoided eating a bug and he's avoided eating like really any bad bamboozled beans.
No, my first three I went 0 for 3, I think.
Yeah, but like your hit rate now is like so like
Yeah, it's close to 50%.
it's incredible.
Now.
Yeah.
Still in there. This one definitely overpowers the liver and onions.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably third on the list of worst.
Oh,
I haven't gotten barf
yeah.
yet.
Yeah, that one's pretty terrible.
Yeah. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. That was dirty dishwater.
Oh, this one doesn't. It lingers on your tongue. That's what makes this one terrible. Because it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
No, I won't vomit. I promise. But that's pretty gross. Good
Yeah.
job with that one. That was terrible.
Wait, so was the last one the worst one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay.
Easily. Yeah.
Jeremy, you mentioned the other two, right? Or it's dirty bandage, right?
Old bandage.
Or old bandage, yeah. Old bandage, and then the fish one.
Dead fish, yeah. Ugh.
I feel like I remember dead fish being terrible.
Old bandage, you'd be like, I don't know, what does an old bandage taste like? I don't know why, but they nailed it. And it's the worst. It's so gross. I would not wish that upon my enemy. As who said that recently? Oh, Amon-Ra said that about his foot and mouth disease.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know why, but as soon as you said it, I was like, it sounds like something a wide receiver would say.
He was talking about getting fined for blocking.
Oh, we don't need to get Jeremy started on that.
People think I play devil's advocate with that sort of stuff, and maybe I'm not doing it on purpose, but the people are like, I don't see it at all. He didn't lead with his helmet. I'm like, you sure? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Anyways, I got to crack an egg in my head, and then we should probably get out of here. Unless someone whips up $380 here in a minute to make Ryan drink some pickle juice that he clearly wants to drink anyways.
No, that's way to sell.
And I'll eat some bugs. So let me get this prepared. And I know you're going to be excited about that because you love when I do this. By the way, I stained my green screen last time. I don't think you guys saw me crack my egg last time. It went flying that way after it hit my head. And it got on my sheets, it got on clothes, and it got on my green screen. I was very upset. I swear three times.
All to the swear jar?
Yeah.
You did it on stream?
Yep.
Oh.
Why are you making weird faces, Eric? You can't hear me. Your headphones aren't on. He doesn't look very good right now, by the way. Are you okay?
I think it's are the beans getting to you? Is he okay?
I'm not sure. Eric, are you okay? We're concerned about the faces you're making.
Yeah, Eric, we're worried about you.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay.
Just trying to get burnt hair out of your mouth.
Oh, you're a little too hearted.
Oh, replace that taste of burnt hair with nickel shavings.
No,
All right.
that works.
I'm gonna get an egg and a top. And I know you're excited about it.
It works.
What's your transition to winter beer, Eric? Because I know you're a hazy IPA guy in the summertime, but
I am.
Do you stick with that, or do you kind of in fall winter transition a bit?
No, I enjoy it. I enjoy it all year round. I think I only have IPAs in my fridge right now. Just like I got the Two Hearted, and then I have some Norms from Griffin Claw,
Oh,
the local
okay.
Griffin Claw, right?
Yeah.
They have a guy. So yeah, I have Norms, and then this, and then I think I might just have like a lager from like locals. That's that summer stuff or whatever. I think I have some of that left over. It's usually my grass mowing, leaf picking up, get done with that, have that type of beer. That's just, that's always a good one. Because it's like nothing. It's like a prohibition beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is doing the trick though. This took the edge off of that
that's
dishwater.
Good. That's good. That stuff is terrible.
Oh, I do have some Blushing Monk. I forgot about that. Laura reminded me of that in the chat. Blushing Monk, have you had that? It's the raspberry from Founders.
Founders.
Ooh.
Yeah, I haven't had that.
Fantastic. Coming over for the holidays? I'll save one for you.
Yeah. Was there a date?
Yeah.
Did I missed that? Okay.
I will. I was waiting till we finished it to tell you.
Okay.
To confirm with you. I thought that we had mentioned it, but I will confirm with you. I have an official date now.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you dating?
My wife.
Oh, it's official now.
My
It's
wife.
official. Laura said she'll make you some pudding shots, Ryan.
Oh gosh.
Oh god.
As long as oh man, what is it? That freaking pasta salad you guys make that's like just
Oh, she does that all the time.
$1 million.
Yeah, that's Laura.
Like I eat that stuff until I just become like a doctor's favorite test subject.
Well, now it'll be on the menu, man.
I'm glad I said something. So I even know because I've obviously I brought home leftovers from your place like a couple of times, but I know the last time that I came over in the summer, Amanda was like, "Hey, if you bring home leftovers, are they gonna have any of that pasta salad?" I was like, "No, I'll definitely make sure I get some of that."
Go. Sally wants to eat the egg, just with it in the shell.
Put it on your face.
I probably should have.
Yeah.
All right. That way we can all get out of here. That's what we're all
get it mostly on yourself and not on Charity.
On Charity? Oh, Charity.
Yeah.
Over there. All right. I'm getting pretty sick of this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely upping this to $200 during the stream.
Dude, you got to up it to like $500 because I honestly think I have 11 coming my way. Is that right? I think it's 11.
I don't know.
I don't. At some point, the kids are just gonna throw them at me because
Yeah.
I'm gonna take 11 on the top of the head.
You got to open the pool back up, Eric. You got to take all 11 eggs and then just like fall into it like Gatsby.
I have a mini pool in the basement that I put on the deck for when it gets hot. When I'm like going through an opening in the pool, I fill them in a little mini pool.
Yeah.
For the little one, and I can just put a whole bunch of eggs in that, I guess.
All right, we're doing it.
All right, Jeremy.
Good job taking your glasses off.
Thank you. Taking the headphones off too.
Now we can talk crap about them.
I can't hear you now.
I know.
If you think the Minnesota Vikings are
Jesus,
going to win the
Amos 5
NFC North,
apparently.
crack
There
an
we
egg
go.
on your face.
You're saying things, and I'm mad about it that I can't. All right, 3, 2. Satsu, get out of here. 1.
Oh,
Big
That's
Josh
his-
Dobbs guy. I don't know.
I feel like that went to my left again a little bit. Oh, it's dropping literally on top of Zazu. All right.
yeah, it's
So
coming.
get-
It's coming off his hair.
Get.
It's like, oh yeah, that's
No.
disgusting.
No. I don't like the straggler on my forehead.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like
Cut it down. Cut it down.
Oh, no. Come on. Stop. Somebody's going to clip that and you're going to be in trouble.
Hold on my
Oh,
shirt, too.
gosh. Ugh.
Oh man.
By the way, Alzheimer's Association.
That's what I was thinking.
Get out of here.
Like look at Jeremy dressed for the occasion. Also,
Oh.
he just really wanted an excuse to wear purple.
Jeremy, you can't hear. Did you see his pants?
Yeah, were they red?
Yeah. They are. Dude,
Hmm.
I like your pants.
Yeah,
I like your pants.
thank you. Are you wearing some...
Is he wearing the same pants?
Very dad pants?
It's the Christmas season.
Sure.
Jeremy,
Put them-
something might get clipped before you crack that egg on your face.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Do I want to know?
I don't know. You'll find out eventually. Look at Killer
Should wear a
Cornbread.
dog coat.
I have the same ones Eric is wearing right now.
These nuts.
Bonus. That's how you do it.
Should end the stream while I had the chance.
Oh no.
Joshua Mercer with the $380 donation. Who
Dude.
wants an Eric cameo, by the way?
A what?
A cameo
What do I have
video.
to do?
You're gonna have to make a
Oh.
cameo video for him at some point.
Okay.
But in the meantime, as per the agreement, I will eat
The
a bug, and Ryan will go eat the pickle juice he's been looking for. Now, okay. We have 3 options here, and I think the best way is just to put this up to a poll.
Now you have 2 options.
So we have bacon and cheese crickets, salt and vinegar crickets,
Oh.
or sour. It says
Sour
sour cream and
cream?
onion. I will do 2. So the top 2 vote
Oh.
getters, I will do 2. I'm not going to do all 3. We have to leave some to the imagination here. Stop! Oh my God, Zazu, you're crazy. Get out of here.
Eggs are good for his coat.
Yeah.
Make his coat shiny.
Bacon and cheese. All right. Over on Twitch, sorry YouTube, you have 2 minutes to vote starting now. Top 2 vote getters. I'll eat a bug of. Zazu, you literally have egg on your back. Zazu, here, eat that, weirdo. It's all on your back. We both need showers. You're so happy for what? You're muted, by the way, Eric. You old man.
Laura's not allowed to listen in the chat anymore.
Salt and vinegar out to a healthy lead. Bacon and cheese next. No one cares about the sour cream and onion as much.
Oh, we're choosing which bug flavor.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do one of each 2. I muted
Oh,
you 2 minutes. You muted me for 2 minutes?
Wow. Okay.
Right now?
Yeah. I want you to shut up. Eat your bug.
Fine. Good luck carrying the show, Ryan.
Don't be mad at me. I'm not the
So
one who
I-
donated $380 to shut you up.
So I didn't do a good job pouring because I have a lot of like remnants in mine.
Oh yeah, I have a ton in mine too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're
So we
good.
are you just sipping it or do you just like shotgunning it?
I
like a
could
ball?
I could slam it.
Well, we got a minute 40, so I don't think there's any rush on this, right?
Do you think there's anything that we could talk about that would just drive Jeremy absolutely nuts right now?
I think the fact that he's such a Vikings fan and has been for years now is really. I mean, look, the purple. He put "Shave My Head" on there. That's a subconscious nod to Josh Dobbs. I mean, like he wants to get to that point where he can look like Josh Dobbs. That's how much he wants to be a Vikings fan. Look, if Josh Dobbs said momentum was real, Jeremy would believe it. Like he believes everything that Josh Dobbs. When Josh Dobbs was a Lion for a week, Jeremy bought his jersey, just didn't tell anyone. So
Pre-wrote an article that said the man who will most
Save
likely
Detroit.
take Jared Goff's job from him.
yes, that was Josh Dobbs. I remember. It's still in the
So
in the
in the dashboard?
drafts, I believe,
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
So Jeremy, earlier I said, if you think the Minnesota Vikings are gonna beat the Lions for the NFC North this year, crack an egg on your head, and then you cracked an egg on your head. So
Confirmation.
how sad
Jer-
will Jeremy be if Brandon Staley gets fired tomorrow?
I think he'd be a little sad.
I think Jeremy would be a little sad. He was really in on Brandon Staley early.
Yeah, because of the analytics. He likes anybody who has analytics or wears purple. And so those are his two defining characteristic traits that he likes.
Does Brandon Staley wear purple?
It's funny. It's funny that Jeremy was like, he was so in on Brandon Staley and then did not expect that he was getting like the better version of Brandon Staley when Dan Campbell got hired.
That's 100% true. All right. I think I might just try and chuck on this thing.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
Yep, I'm done.
Oh, God.
Delicious.
Oh, there are not as many in here as I
electrolytes.
thought.
It is. It's good electrolytes. A little bit left.
All right, I have to do a salt and vinegar one and a bacon and cheese one. They look
That
the
one's-
same.
That's awful. The bacon and cheese one sounds.
Ow, get off me, Zazu.
Disgusting.
You psychopath.
Yeah. I'd rather have the salt and vinegar if I was if
Me
I had
too.
my options. Yeah.
Ew, like it's like a little coating on them.
I don't like this. This is the thing that I like. This is the thing on the Wheel of Pain that you do that I like the least.
At least they're not Oh, that is a strong salt and vinegar smell.
I feel like that's a good thing.
Probably.
It'll probably overpower the bug taste.
I hope so. All right. This is the first victim. Sorry, PETA. I guess they're already dead. They don't care. Right? Is that how that works?
That's not how PETA works.
No, shoot. Salt and vinegar, bug. Here we go.
Down the hatch. Bon appetit.
A lot of protein.
Don't. The whole hanging out on your tongue for a second. Is this a different brand of bug than you got last year, Jeremy?
Yeah, the last year weren't flavored at all.
I remember they weren't flavored, but this is a different brand of bugs?
Yeah. Ooh. It's not as bad as I was concerned about, but certainly not good. It's like flaky, with no substance to it, and it's like it feels like biting into a wing, an insect wing. Just like almost like a leaf.
A leaf?
Not Khalif. Not Khalif.
Jeremy, I'm really bummed out that you're about to eat one that's bacon and cheese flavored because it's going to be terrible.
No, this is gonna be good. I'm
No, it's not.
excited about this.
Get ready, people. Get your clippy fingers ready.
No, this is gonna be great. It's also very hard to get fully out of your mouth, like the jelly beans. It's lingering around in the crevices of my mouth.
I think the pickle juice did that. I think that took care of it.
It's like there's still bits on my tongue. It's gross.
Like little legs and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, bacon and cheese. Like that.
Bacon
that also
and
did not
cheese,
have
dude.
that strong of a salt and vinegar taste. There's this little guy. Sorry, buddy.
That one looks really disgusting.
Oh my gosh, dude, just eat it.
Yeah, let me just look him in the face first.
No, dude, I hate it. I hate it.
All right, here we go. No flavor. Like none. Very little. Just bug.
That's a bummer.
A little bit of like a cheese, but no bacon.
Dude, the last thing that I'd ever want to associate with two things are bugs and cheese. You know what I mean? Like, AZ Lions fan, Jarlic or bugs? Neither. Neither. Oh my gosh.
I can't stop chewing because it's all still there. I'm disappointed by the flavoring. I was hoping it would be stronger for both of those.
Texas.
Meat and dairy. I'm both mixing meat and dairy and bacon. It's a good point. I wouldn't expect that good of a point out of a Texan. Kidding! Relax! Relax! Everyone relax.
Oh my god.
Everyone relax.
The heel turn is incredible. Jeremy does these at like the end of the streams.
Or because it gets worn out.
I get cranky. It's past my bedtime, all right? I act out.
By the end of the day long stream,
Oh, man.
he is out of it.
Yeah. I'm from Michigan. Can help where. Oh wow. Now I'm the big a-hole. Can't help where Uncle Sam sends me. Well,
Dude, Jeremy doesn't support the troops.
I just got high-roaded like an MFer.
Swear jar.
No, I protected myself there.
Implied swearing.
You
Nope.
protected yourself, or did Texas Wolverine ensure that you're protected?
Okay, all right.
Accurate.
You guys are all the good guys. I'm the only bad guy on the show. That's it.
What's
Wait, what is this text thing that you sent us in response to?
That's what I was telling you about the bowl
the
of
ice cream?
and apple pie.
Oh.
She could overhear me. And just sent me that.
Ah.
All right.
Is it time to get out of here?
It's the start of a new trimester tomorrow. I have all new kids. So
Well, good luck with that, buddy.
thanks, man. Eric, by the way, if Laura's looking to become a principal, ours lasted for 3 months before he quit. So
Nice.
She's interested.
That sounds like a maybe.
Oh, I am starting to get hit with a little bit of the mixed flavors.
In the tum-tum?
Of
Burnt
pickle
hair,
juice.
pickle juice.
and dishwater combined with the beer that I slammed my hot chocolate from earlier.
Oh no,
Dude, all right, we got to get out of here.
All right,
Erica-
time to go. We're not
Erica-
going to
Erica-
read anybody. I thought maybe what's her name would be live, but she's not. So we're getting out of here. Thanks for all the donations, everybody. Thanks for hanging around. Hopefully you enjoyed the Lions portion of the chat as well, and you weren't just here to watch us eat gross things. But yeah, we'll be live again pretty soon here. Eric and I will most likely be doing a midweek mailbag soon. First bite, and then yeah, next week, big week. Charity stream, week from Tuesday.